Hello and welcome at European Women's Club Cup in Monaco, organized by Monaco and also European Chess Union. I'm Women Grandmaster Kati Tazalashvili. This is Grandmaster Martin Tasper, and
Hello.
we are happy to have you here and to have also the games to analyze of best female players.
Yeah, exactly. Monaco Chess Federation is supporting women chess for several years already. Let's mention that already in 1993, they supported the final candidates match between Zsuzsa Polgar and Nana Joseliani, and then the World Championship match, also in 1993, where Xi Yun was playing against Nana Joseliani. So the cup is given by the Princess Charlene. So it's a Princess Charlene cup.
Very
We-
beautiful
Yeah,
cup.
we can see it now.
You can see that's not a background. That's a real, real view from the mountain, uh,
Yeah, exactly.
the port of Monaco, Monte Carlo. It's worth to mention that a previous year we had the Women Grand Prix in Monaco. It was such a spectacular place in the yacht club. We had huge area for players, for spectators, and for broadcast team to work together. And the tournament was won by Alexander Kostyniuk.
Right.
And Alexander also won Rapid tournament, which held before, just right
Alright.
before the Grand Prix. Also, Blitz event happened there, and also European Golden Pawn, absolute favorite of every chess person in the world. I think this event is the one that you have to attend once in
Yeah.
your lifetime.
I will do my best to be there as well.
It's not that easy to be there.
I know, of course.
I was lucky to be there, and I was so honored because there were like lots of chess faces, heroes. I don't know. Last year, Garry Kasparov won
Yeah.
the prize as the best chess player, and also Judith Polgar won the prize for as best
Two legends
women
of chess, of course.
chess player. Yeah.
So the tournament is held under the patronage of Serene Highness Prince Albert II of Monaco, and the sponsors are the Casino de Monte Carlo and Société de Bain de Mer.
Yeah, itself. Also, the principal sponsor is Ina Bazanova from the Art of newspaper, and it's worth to mention that Monte Carlo Chess Club themselves are the winners of several years. Let me call all the years. They won 7 times this exact competition, but over the board competition.
Yeah,
It
so it's
was-
the first chance actually to win online.
yeah, first chance. It was back in 2007, 2008, 2010, 2012, 2013, 2016, and 2018. So they are record breakers
For
to
sure.
win so many times. And I kind of think that they want to keep this beautiful cup at home and
For
to
sure.
win first online championship of a Women Club Cup.
Yeah, exactly. So I believe we can move
Oh,
to the games
We
in a
can move
moment.
to the games. Yes, we can move to the games because players has already started to play. We see the first games already on the board. It's always a Georgia playing, Grasper Georgia playing. I don't know what.
You do it on purpose.
Yeah, it's not me. They're doing this to me. Let's move to the leaders boards, and later on we will learn more details about the team competitions
Yeah.
because I really want to know who are playing in those top teams
Right.
that were competing for gold medal. I guess you also want to know about that too, so we will have that in some moment. But before
Mhm.
that, let's take a look at the game of one of the favorites, and I think number 4 by the rating, Nana Zaganidze playing against Yelizaveta Hrebenschekova. So this is the position we have. Actually, we can start from the first move. In this tournament, time control is 15 minutes plus 5 seconds. It's
Per
rapid
move, right.
tournament. So players are getting 5 second increment. It's worth to mention that they don't have this unique tool of online chess pre-move.
Yeah,
They
exactly.
cannot pre-move here. They have to play just like on regular chessboard. You have to wait your opponent, and then you can make your move. And so we have this Sicilian position here. It's Nana likes this position very much.
Yeah, it's very
Uh,
popular one.
yes. So the idea here is for whites to maintain the center, get more advantage, and in some moments even to attack the king side.
Yeah, exactly. So it's worth to
For
mention that Nana Jagnidze plays for the Monte Carlo Cercle d'Échecs. So she plays at home actually.
yeah, she plays at
Almost.
home. Yeah. Monte Carlo has stars
Yes,
in the team.
exactly.
That's why they won 7 times.
Yeah,
It was
Alexandra
with a
Goriachkina,
reason.
Nana Jagnidze, Elizabeth Petz, and Monika Sochko playing today for the team.
Yes,
So-
and Almir Skripchenko is the captain,
Yeah, the
also
captain
very
of the-
experienced chess player and quite strong chess player. It's also good
Yeah, of
to
course.
have
Such a person as,
captain,
as
on
the
your
captain.
side.
Right, what happened in the game after knight a5?
Yeah, I
was,
wanted
believe-
to say about black's ideas here to play on the king side, on the queen side, control the center, and yeah, main ideas here are to jump knight on c4.
Yeah, but now white played e5 in the
Yeah.
center because black is not still controlling it. So you cannot take it on e5 because of some bishop f4 and the queen f4. So the queen does not have enough space and it has to control also the knight on a5. So the
Yeah.
only move would be queen f5 and
But
then
this is
bishop
under
c-
the
yeah, under the pin.
pressure.
So
Mm.
bishop c7, for example, right?
Mm.
And here you cannot stay it. So knight d5. So I believe knight a5 was not the best move. And here, yeah,
Mhm.
ed queen took on d5, knight took on b3 and cb. So white is pawn up, and I believe stands better. But of course, black also has some chances after I don't know bishop e6, for example. Now, let's put it on a board. But still, I believe, and even after queen e4, then I will go with the bishop on d3. I'll attack the king
Mhm.
because of the fact that I have the pawn on e5. I'm standing better. And if
Mhm.
I play bishop c6, I can just come back, and after I know rook a to d8, I can play queen f4, for example. And here, still black
Yeah.
is suffering.
Yeah.
Bishop e6 was played actually in a game, so I believe that now queen will go on e4, and if black, for example, takes the pawn on b3, bishop d3, g6 is the
Only
mandatory,
move.
yeah. But still, I believe that white's in better. Rook a to c1 at first, just to attack the queen, to
Mhm.
just to develop the rook. And it's hard to say. If white manages to bring some attack here, it would be okay. But if not, the pawn structure of black is better.
Mhm.
Because the pawn on e5 may become a weakness one day. So I believe that it's a really complex position. I would rather say queen d7 now. And the
There-
pawn on f7 is really nicely
There are
protected.
some ideas like this.
Yeah,
it's
but I believe
not
it's-
working here.
Yeah, it's not working here, but still,
Oi,
but
maybe if-
still, it's just quite slow.
maybe black can just grab this b3 pawn and it's not that
Mhm,
dangerous.
mhm. Yeah, it seems so.
And I think that it's time to rook lift
Immediately.
on third rank.
Right, I'll play rook a to d8 as well. Maybe rook, yeah, a or f, I don't know. And after knight, rook a g6 still. I
Mhm.
control the square on h4, so queen f4 most probably.
Mhm.
The bishop e6 then, just to support the king.
And here we have this beautiful
Do we have it?
Oh,
Oh,
there's no
no.
bishop on d3.
No, 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 no.
I wanted to capture bishop d3 to g6, but tricky enough, it's not on d3.
Yeah, it's on e2, so it's too passive. So I believe that black may already take on b3, and it's not that dangerous.
Yeah,
And
we
she
have
took it, yeah. She took it on b3. So I believe black should be fine, because I don't see the proper way of attacking that position with white.
Yeah, we can move to the next game of the same
Yes.
teams, and here we have Alexandra Gorechkina, Marie Berdnik.
Mm-hmm. So it's a Kharkiv Chess Federation, so the Ukrainian team playing against the top seed of the tournament.
Let's start from the beginning. It was 1c4, c5, and now we have this setup on the board where white slowly develops the pieces.
But I believe black is doing extremely well in that
Yeah.
position, because I don't have any weakness actually. And after knight e5, I can just come back on b7. It's of course I would like to knight g4 maybe. That would be very unpleasant. So f6 would be the only move here.
Oi,
f5 would give a possibility to give a
you
mate.
made this is so
Yeah,
beautiful. Yeah,
That's why f6 would be the only
that's why
move.
you should not misclick your
Right.
mouse.
But
So
as far as I
f3.
see, the Sekal Deshek already lost one game.
Really,
Match.
one match
Match
against
against Tremblay Enfance.
French team,
Yeah.
probably.
Yeah.
That's how
Most
you
probably.
sounded.
Yeah,
That's
because
how
it's
you sounded.
Enfance, so I believe it's a French one.
Okay. So
I did
knight
my
is-
best to sound it as French, even though I don't know that language yet.
Yet. So knight is already on e5. We think that knight will come on g4
After
at some
knight
point.
g4, f6, and there is a threat of h5, so you also have to be very careful with that.
Mm.
The
Yeah.
pawn wants to go to h5 to
And
attack the
the
knight,
has
so
no.
so h3 will be mandatory, and then h5, and the knight from e5 has to come back, return. It's not the return of the king or the knight, it's just,
Yeah.
the position of knight is collapsing. So that's why I wouldn't like to jump that way.
Yeah, that's why white here, Alexandra Gorechkina, tries to open up the center a little bit, because his both rooks are already occupied on the half open file. That's
Semi-open file, right.
semi-open file, and now she wants to just maybe to have knights in on f4 probably.
Maybe I will take
Or-
back with the rook actually to d3. Not with the knight. The knight is really placed very nicely.
and I
now
can even come on c4
or
if I
g4
need.
then rook d7 now.
Mhm.
So it's quite dangerous, because the problem is that if I play rook a to d8, for example, now with black, rook a to d8, please put it on the board. Right, I'll play knight g4, and there is a threat of mate on h6. That's why you play
Mhm.
f6, the only move most probably. And now I can even consider taking on the edge, or maybe rook c to d1.
Yeah.
Queen e4 is not a threat because of f3 always. If needed, of course, knight f6 would win on a spot in that position, but still, it's quite a tricky position. Even though black does not have any weakness here, the king might occur to be the one. So after d3, if I take on d3, it's not that easy, I believe. So d3 is quite tricky. Maybe f6.
f6 was played and
Yeah.
knight comes on.
c4 was
C4.
forced to do it actually, because he couldn't go to g4 because of h5 that we mentioned. And
Yeah.
now,
Let's try once again.
yeah, exactly, h5, and the knight has only the spot on h6, and I would just take it. So f6,
Yeah, f6.
knight c4, and now I can choose to. If I were black, I would play rook a to d8 immediately, just to put the rook to the center. So
Yeah, the bishop is not worse at all. I can at some point even try to increase the pressure or just pin the knight or double the rooks on
double
d5.
the rooks, I believe it's not worth to exchange or to move the bishop from b7, because he's attacking the king on the g2 square, so it's well placed. So there's no need to move it actually. Now I would like to just exchange everything on d3 and then move my rook from f8 to d8, and I would be better.
Yeah. So the next game here we have the same team match.
Yes.
We have Elizabeth Pats and Sofia Chyslova. Quite unusual position. Let's take a look
yeah, how did
we
it
get
happen?
in here.
Yeah, okay, d4, so the London style.
London style.
But I believe black managed to solve the problems in the opening. I really like position. I wouldn't play g4 immediately. I would just develop myself bishop d7 and then slowly, step by step. There was no need to do it. Now I will castle long and then I'll just push the pawns, maybe g4, f5 and so on. But at first,
Yeah.
just
Yeah, not necessary to
just develop at first.
push the pawns, but you
But
can
okay,
develop your pieces.
of course, it shouldn't be a problem now. And the king is on f8, an artificial casting, and I believe it's not good. It looks really artificial, and now knight f5 comes. Yeah, right. The king and the queen on d5, or maybe pinned if black takes on f5, bishop c4 wins on the spot. So it was white actually took 2 pawns for nothing.
Yeah.
So the king was actually better placed.
Can I take?
EF. I'll take on g4 and I will bleed piece up after bishop c4 now.
Yeah.
You
yeah,
cannot
yeah.
do it. So now, but I can simply take on g7 if
First
needed.
take,
Then take on f6, or maybe queen g4 even. Yeah,
Exactly.
you're right. It's just winning for white. So the position is very, very hard. So as we can see, the king on g8, this artificial casting, and then rook h6 to rook to f6 was really slow.
Yeah,
was
and also
wrong.
king moves, like it was 2 moves plus rook here, and
Instead of 1
was-
move, there is 4 moves actually.
yeah.
And actually, there is a threat also of rook takes c6 maybe one day. So it's really collapsing. The position of black is collapsing.
We can meanwhile move to the next game. This is Maria Manko and Monika Sochko,
Yeah,
the
exactly.
final game of this match. And what is happening here?
Actually, the ELO difference is really high because Maria Manko's ELO is 1800 and Monika's is 2400. So not only in the title but also in the ELO. So, but I still believe that white is doing fine. Okay, black has pair of bishops, it's sure, but still there are no many weaknesses, and the material is quite even. The material, so the pawns number is even. Black has double 2 bishops, so might be some small plus, but still.
Yeah, we can move now to the next group. We have
Right.
5 groups in total, and the next group, the
Which one is it?
is the group from Ukraine. I think second strongest group. I'm trying to find.
Kiev Chess Federation, right?
Yes, I'm trying to find the games.
As far as for now, they won all their games, just like Chess IT Arnia. So the team consists of 4 players. Of course, two of them plays with white pieces and 2 of them with black pieces, which is quite obvious, of course, but still worth to mention.
We can focus at this game.
All right.
On the way to find the match of Ukraine, and this is a game between Ekaterina Atalik and Sarah Hadem. And who stands better? Which color would you prefer here to play?
Let me take a look. So the material is even, and the amount of pawns is the same. Good move by black because the bishop did not play at all on d5. It was limited by the pawn chain, d5, c4, b3. So it's a good way of playing bishop d7. It's very hard to push the pawns in the d and c. So I believe I would choose black actually in that position. I would prefer to take black because always I can try to play some g5, f4 just to attack. Of course, I have some problems, some issues with the pawn on e4. So actually, I would say it's quite quite a complex position, and
Both sides have some ideas, some weaknesses,
oh,
and so on and so on. And on the screen you can see Anna Mozechuk.
and Magda Miturova, as far as I know.
Yeah,
I
don't know.
remember
don't know
Czech
her.
player.
Okay. And she has a little lovely Christmas tree on the background. Is that a Christmas tree or a flower? Just a
believe-
plant.
Hard to say. I would say it might be
Eh?
already the Christmas tree we are in that
There's
time.
some
of-
Christmas spirit.
yeah, exactly.
Oh, if this tournament is happening over the board in Monaco, that could be really, really magical time for every participant because they do the best way on the shore of port. They have huge Christmas market
Yeah.
as usually, and this is something that you have
Magical
also
time,
to
magical
visit
place. Right, magic place.
after right after European Golden Pawn.
yeah, exactly. Okay,
So
let's move maybe to the
to the
another-
next game. Next game can be Kubra Öztürk from Turkey, Turkish club she's representing, and Alexandra Kostyuk, who represents Russian club.
Right.
Ugra, I guess.
Ugra, right.
So we already have endgame in here, and the position is material-wise equal, but we can see that the king is quite active rather than the opponent's king. And also black already has created pass pawn. There are less pieces on the board to make the problems for making the problems for opponents. But for example, the last move like f6, it sort of limits
Actually,
the opponent's piece.
Alexandra Kostyuk plays for Klisie Czech team from
Aha,
France.
France.
Yeah, together with Alina Kaszlinskaya,
Uh-huh.
Sara Sadat, Hadem Al-Shahray, sorry,
Sarah Hadem, you can just
All right.
go her.
and Natasha Beumesap and Anel Afroui.
So that's the team who managed to win against a first-ranked team, Monte Carlo, right?
Yeah, most probably. I will check it because I'm not sure, but
Okay. Meanwhile, I will move to the next board in the same match. I believe the player with black pieces is
no, it was
relatively
different.
young.
It was Tremblay and France who won against Sakelde.
We have to check that
Yeah.
team too. So if we know who are playing there, it will be easier for me to find the games. In this position, black played bishop d4. Did she capture some? Yeah, she captured a knight. Oh, this is interesting. This is interesting. So we have this position. This looks quite standard position, and here black just pushes the pawn in the center to break it down. And after bishop g5, here we have sacrifice. I don't know if it's working, but it looks very tempting for me to take a look even
Yes,
deeper.
of course. And it was actually the only way of handling that position with black already. Because after f6, the pawn on d6 was hanging. So if I play f6, that I have to be prepared
For
to
bishop
yeah,
g5
for bishop
and
g5 and for
to
the
take here,
for
exactly.
rook f3, right?
So let's see two more moves because we have knight c6 played here. So black hopes for this strong battery. Now rook will join for this game.
So
to
bishop
play
e3.
against
yeah.
f2.
So bishop e3
Bishop
should be
e3.
the only move actually.
Yes, exactly. And here black has some chances. I don't know.
What
Knight-
happens? What happens if black plays rook to f7? Is rook c6 possible?
Rook f7,
Yeah, and rook c6.
rook c6.
No, the queen will take back. It's stupid what I said. There is no motives like that.
So instead of bishop e7, bishop went come back on f4
But what happens
and
after rook
attacks the
f7?
rook with
What does
idea of
she want to?
e5 and
Yeah,
g5.
bishop h3 maybe,
Bishop h3,
just to attack. But knight
Knight.
e5.
e5. I like this position with black.
Right, queen e2. You know, you also have some weaknesses, so
Yes,
it looks very nice, of course.
Mhm.
But still, if you calculate, there is a threat of taking on e6 and then on taking on d4, for example, right? So it looks tempting.
It looks tempting.
Yeah, right, but still, it's not that easy, I believe.
Can I push this and sacrifice?
What do we want to? What would you what would be your next move? And then king h1, d4, bishop g2, take, queen b7, king h3, h5.
Wait, let's make it on the board.
Right, right.
Let's. It's although it's
King
very
h3,
hard to calculate until the end.
Yeah.
You just have to feel it and sense it and
but I believe it's not.
play. It's not enough. I think
It's not
so
enough
too.
because you
It's a
cannot.
rook.
But h5 now.
h5.
Mm,
Maybe
but
queen takes h5.
rook h7 then.
Rook h7.
You cannot because you are pinned.
And
But it would be nonsense to take on h5 because there actually was it a threat g4 and then queen e7, so bishop d6 maybe now. It's it's really sharp position.
it's very sharp position. Hard to
Queen to
evaluate
g2
now.
for example, but then there will be nothing more. Queen e6 and then the king will just go to g5 and escape. King g5
One last
and
move.
king g6.
Oh, I
And
cannot do
yeah,
that. It's
now you
illegal.
are pinned, and then rook c8 is the next move. So
Yeah.
as you can see, it's very sharp position and
Mhm.
quite nice.
Actually in the game it happened a different way. Let's get in here. So after rook f7, white gets out of the pin, queen e2, e5. Now we have bishop e3. We have this trade. Somehow I dislike this idea of play a little bit passive here with 97. Maybe she could do something more active here. Yeah, hard to predict. We can actually move maybe to the next games because we have hundreds of them. On the screen you can see the
Monika
leader
Soczka.
of Polish national team, Grandmaster Monika Soczka. And that's is that the next match of the team? No, this is this is probably the next match. And I know that Leila is playing for German team, which the name I couldn't pronounce.
I will try. I will do my best in a moment, but I will have only to find her.
So we have 1d4, and then white decided to fianchetto the bishop on g2, and black responded the same way. So yeah, don't take these pawns here because it's poison. That's what we call. And it can be grabbed. Anyway you choose, it can be grabbed, like knight g4. Yeah, knight g4.
Oh,
94.
94 would be also. Knight g4 is better.
But anyway, even knight d7,
Yeah, exactly.
take and
Take back
First
with the
I-
queen, for example.
yeah, with queen either.
And then with the knight. So.
And it's impossible to defend this rook, to save the rook. So we had bishop b2, knight g5, and here we have a nice move g4, and g pawn was traded to e4 pawn, central pawn. And as a result, we got this position here. Lots of trades, lots of trading here. They're taking all the pieces off the board, so this is the final position. What we have here, we have rook and bishop versus rook and knight. we have few pawns on the board, and I believe that knight and rook are not any weaker in this position, if
No,
not
rook d3,
strong.
knight d3, for example. Now,
Yeah.
or rook f2 is also
Rook
to be
f2.
calculated.
Rook f2 is the move that it can be played now, and knight actually is not trapped, and this
So-
position is extra pawn, and it just happened.
Yeah, so Lela is playing for Schwäbisch Hall. Schwäbisch Hall.
Schwäbisch Hall.
Yeah,
Schwäbisch
Hall, not hell. Hall.
Hall.
Yep.
Yeah. The manager of the manager, or the president of the club, is very friendly person.
Yep.
I know it from the girls because he has a lot of Georgian players, and we also are friends on Facebook. And after yesterday's my terrible attempt to pronounce the name, he said that I have to try it to pronounce it. So how do we say
I would say it's Schwäbisch Hall.
Schwäbisch Hall?
So, but
We hope it's good.
natürlich ist es aber nicht so einfach.
Okay, I hope you didn't say something bad about
No,
me.
I said it's not that easy to pronounce it. Really?
Okay.
You have to believe me once in your life. All right, what happens after f4? What if
I
play-
love this move f4.
Just-
What's happened? So I like the move f4 just to push then king on e5 to block the pawn on e4 and then to queen.
We should calculate the variation f4, e5, king takes, and king c5. That's the
Yeah.
f4, e5, take, yeah.
I want to show you some because this might not finish that soon, but this game might finish soon. Look at this. Look,
Right.
it's so beautiful from the start. I want to show this.
I wouldn't say it's chess if I were asked.
Oh my god. Let's
Because-
start it from the beginning. This looks very nice.
Yes.
Okay, let's do it.
So the English
C4.
opening, quite a good setup of black. h5, very nice aggressive move for
Mhm.
that line, especially after e3. It's worth to do it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, h4, just open the position near the white king.
White is trying to somehow close the center and also
Knight
to
b4,
control
right.
king side. Oi.
Oh. So
This
the
is
knight on
painful.
b4 is still hanging, but there's
No
no
one
time to
cares
take.
about
Yeah,
that.
nobody cares. Now it was taken. And f5, it's just over.
This is beautiful game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If there was no pawn on d5, I wouldn't say it's chess, because all white pieces stand on the first three ranks,
Mm-hmm.
three lines, and
Yeah.
of course Nina Pert won that game.
So,
So-
we have some end games left.
Mm-hmm.
We can take a look one by one.
Right.
So back to the game of Talik and Sarah Hadem. Here we have a sort of disbalanced position. The king is in mate in threat
Yep.
already.
In that rhyme. And the problem is that what happens if I play now black's on move, right? I want to play
Yeah.
bishop g6 most probably,
Mhm.
just to
I'm not in my best shape to
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 draw the arrows.
no, not best shape. I don't
Right.
know what's wrong.
Because now I would like force black to play g4, for example.
Can I do like this?
Alright.
Trade,
Trade,
trade.
bishop, yeah, bishop
Here it's
g6.
hanging.
Bishop maybe e2, sorry, bishop e2.
What
Yep. Bishop e2. I want to prepare myself against rook g3. I will show you why I didn't want to play bishop g6. Because after bishop g6
Mhm.
there might be h4 immediately, and if king takes then rook g3, I attack the bishop and I'm just taking it, right?
You read women's mind. That's what I wanted, but I didn't see bishop e2.
That's why bishop e2 was actually forced in that position and still. So
Mm-hmm. But how about instead of
black won that game.
rook g, for example here,
h4 immediately.
h4.
I'll take on g4. h3 and bishop f1. You cannot do it.
Wait, it was somehow black won the game.
Yeah, but how? It's a good question, I would say. Can we find it?
Yes, we can find it. It was some sort of trick.
Okay, different way of handling a bishop b3, rook b4, no g4. All right, and that's right because h4 was a threat, and after rook f3 it was easy.
You won it in 2 moves.
Yeah, yeah, g4
That
was
is-
just not good.
So we have less and less games on the live now, and that's one of it. Maria Rabiza has an extra exchange against Mihaela Ciolocco.
Cholaco.
And how to win this? King can come on h3 now to defend this pawn, and rook can come here and grab the pawn.
Yep.
That's a yummy pawn, and that can be winning position. That's what Mary is trying to do here, and I think White has here
The winning position.
winning position.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, somehow she didn't play this, and she played rook d7.
I don't know. Maybe f6 was a threat. Now she wants. But what happens if black plays king g6, right? Straightening. I want to play f6, and then I will just wait for you. So it's not that easy to win
Not
that
that
position.
easy. Yeah, we have f6 on the board. And
Because if I
we-
manage to exchange those pawns,
Yeah.
king f7 and then bishop f6, it should be okay. But now rook d5, and actually that position is won for after king f7, rook h5. It's won for white. The rule is here that you cannot.
Oi, sorry.
Oh, okay, it would also win actually.
Mhm.
It doesn't hurt that position. The rule is that you cannot move your pawn from the fourth rank. You have to stay
don't.
there, because then if oh, okay, but the bishop is the wrong corner, so it doesn't matter. If black had a light squared bishop, and because of the corner is black, you would have to stay with your pawn on h4 just to check the king, and then you have the route
King
king
g4.
g6 from when you come back from h5 from g6 actually you have to come back via g5 h5 and g4 just to win it. So it's not that easy. It's quite complicated endgame, but not with that bishop.
This is anyway easier to win.
This one is totally easy because the bishop is with the wrong corner, but still.
They are still playing this one game
Yeah,
in
but
progress.
I believe that it's easily won for Maria Rabidze.
Yeah, we have also this game in progress, and here we have queen e8, check, and it's
Queen b5, it will be perpetual.
is hanging.
Yeah, it will be a perpetual actually. Monica will win. It will draw that game by perpetual check. So
Garechkina we have on the screen.
right,
She is still playing
and she's
with
actually
white
winning.
pieces. The idea
after,
can be
yeah.
just 96,
Knight
knight
g7 or knight
knight
a6. As well after bishop g4. Oh, knight e6 was played. and
Who
it's
is this? Who is this on the screen? Oh my god, who is this?
the
one?
youngest player?
Oh, can we zoom this little one? Oh, she's complaining.
Yeah,
Regina.
something wrong is going on.
It's Regina. So cute.
You have to be prepared if you have play online at home. You have to be prepared for such.
Your kid might approach your computer. So cute. I loved that.
But also during some interviews and so on,
Yeah.
such situations occur on
Yeah.
TV, really good TV, BBC, something like that.
I couldn't stop laughing for I don't know how many days.
Okay.
It's just incredible, incredible.
but
It's funny. It's not even. I don't think it's somehow damaged anybody. It's just funny.
mhm. Okay, king k6, king f6 is winning. I was
Yeah,
thinking,
this is
how will Alexandra Goryachkina win that game? And There are plenty of ways to
Yeah,
do it
knight
actually.
comes on, I don't know, to take g pawn, knight f4, knight g6.
And knight g7 and
Or
I
just,
will
yeah,
just
knight
promote the
c7
queen.
or knight g7. That's easiest way to
Mhm.
win. Oh, very interesting endgame happens here in this game.
Olga Zimina,
Kulmira
Dauletova.
Mova. So it's impossible to.
No, it's you just
So-
winning. But
so
how
how it
did it
happened,
happen?
yeah.
Because it was the queens.
Oh, it was queens.
Okay, but still, it should be a draw actually.
As I know, the king should be far, not
As far
to get.
away, yeah, but queen b5 is just
Yeah.
winning. That's the point.
Yeah,
And now the king, shouldering.
yeah.
And even more king b2, right? And now the pawn is free to go.
Yeah.
So it's just winning.
Here, I don't know if she ever had chance to. I think she didn't had chance to get the king here because king should be h6, yeah, or h5
Right.
to avoid the.
But
trades.
still, I believe it should be a draw. That position should be is
Even
drawish.
this one,
yeah,
yeah.
I believe. I'm not
Mm.
sure, of course. I would have to check it on the Nalimov database, but still, I don't think it could with the a pawn that black
Mhm.
was able to win it if
Yeah.
properly played by white. Okay, I
Yeah,
believe we have
this round ended actually, and
Yep.
now players are
Resting.
absent. Maybe we can take a look at the results
I'll try
and
to
to
find.
see what is happening.
So we had 4 matches in and 5 matches in some groups.
Let's zoom the screen so we will be able to see
Actually,
everything.
there are no results on chess results, so
There's not
no, we will have to find
on other platforms.
other platforms the results. Yeah.
Yeah, on Chess24 you can go and find the results and also the games. So with evaluation of computer, so it's quite
Right.
comfortable.
So in the first group, let's call it A group. What do we have? The team from Monte Carlo won 3.5 to half.
Mhm.
So Goriachkina, Jagnidze, Pets won their games and Monika Sochko made a draw. So it was 3.5. Which other team would we like to know?
I want to know in that team, in that French team who are playing. And meanwhile, this is really funny game.
So Tremblay and France made 2-2.
So the
one that-
king in this position. Oh, you cannot see the game. You cannot see the game. Let's take a board back. This is one of the previous games.
Okay.
Yeah, here we have a board. So,
Right.
do you want to bet that this king will be somewhere at the central squares, somewhere here?
But how actually?
That's-
No, it's not
that's
possible.
okay.
I believe.
No. Oh God, it was a queen. I thought it was a king. Oh, sorry, my my bad. Actually, black checkmate it.
Right, but what happened?
I think it's not about
What's
only
going on?
my abilities of arrows today, but I also have problems with seeing the pieces.
Okay, because now after bishop c5,
I
there
think
is a
it's
threat
winning,
of rook
yeah.
d1,
Mhm.
and so still black does not. Actually, the only move now would
Mhm.
be queen f3, just to get away from the pin, and the rook cannot attack the queen immediately, because the f4 square is not it cannot go there because white would take it with bishop
Can I play a4 here?
e4, then
A4, A4.
a4. Sorry. Ah, right. You're right. And I still don't have enough place for my pieces, but here, still
Now I can take BA maybe,
ba,
and now I can play
rook
rook.
b4, queen d5, king c8. Where did you want
Maybe
to go?
E4. Maybe
E4 now,
E4 and
right.
rook C4 later.
Here, queen f5, just to attack. just to be stubborn to attack. But now rook d8, I believe the king is quite weak, and the spin is also very
Unpleasant, yeah.
unpleasant. So black is of course much better, but of course I didn't have to lose immediately.
Hmm. Do we have any leaders for the moment?
I don't see the results of round number. Oh, we have round number 4 only, so still no results of round number 5, because 2 groups already played more games.
Yeah, yesterday Group E and D played 4 rounds, and
Yeah,
rest
because
3 groups played only 3 rounds.
because of the fact that there are different number of teams in different groups, right? In groups number names D and E, there are 9 teams, so they have to play one more round.
What? This game ended in a draw?
Okay, but show me.
Oh my
how
god.
Knight
Okay,
d6,
somebody made worse mistake than I do, right?
But still, it's winning. Is easily won.
93 was played.
All right, but still, it's okay. Okay, and just put. Why do I have to push? King e5, king d4, king e5. Support the pawn. Go to d4. King e5, then f4, then go. Just
Yeah, white has no moves. The king is so misplaced.
king d4. Yeah, f4 now, and then king d4, and the knight is protecting the pawn on c5.
I don't know how this. bishop-
Okay, show it, because I'm curious. How did it happen that it ended up in a draw?
So if no, this is our line.
This is our line.
F4.
Okay. Oh, she lost the pawn on h7. So the counterplay occurred, right? So it was.
Oh, she
succession-
blundered. She blundered.
yeah.
this move.
King e5 was winning actually.
Or maybe she thought it this winning.
Yeah, because the knight is not very good with the pawn on the.
Yeah, probably for that moment she thought that this is winning. This position is winning. This because
Alright.
knight will get the bishop, and she quickly made a move because, yeah, otherwise it's just unclear the way.
So it was a mistake.
And in the Arabite against
Yeah, we have to
Mihaela,
admit that it should be winning quite easily.
that's the way how it converted.
Now g7.
Yeah. And in this game, Barsumova Karina and Malina Andrea Asiu, we have a very interesting mating strat here. Rook goes on f7, 7th rank. Then knight comes on f6.
Oh, very nice one.
And there it comes.
You
Beautiful.
cannot do anything against it actually.
Beautiful. I like it. Yeah.
So I will check whether we have any surprise, any underdog winning against. So Schwäbisch Hall won 3.5 in group number 5 in group E.
So the next round will start any minute soon. Seems like they have more breaks than we have in Blitz tournament later today. And of course, we would like to invite you for the finals of European Online Blitz Championship, which will start at 8 p.m. We're gonna have a very, very, very dynamic games. I believe in that. We might also have some Armageddons like
Yeah.
we did yesterday. And the players are Alexei Shurov,
Yes.
Matthias Blubaum,
Yes, David Navara.
David Navara, and for
I just Gawain Jones.
Gwen Jones, yeah. Another mate we have on the board. Let's see how it happened. Oh, it was a blunder here. No, it was a blunder. Also another game. Fataleva Olveya, I know her. She's quite strong player from Azerbaijan.
Mhm.
And Tripol Denise, I don't know about her.
I don't know
I
either.
don't know about her. So it might be huge the rating difference between these two players,
try to
and we
find.
have some surprise here in this round as well. Black played outplayed, I think, stronger opponent in endgame, in winning endgame, quite easily.
I'll try to find those players, but it's not
Yeah,
that easy.
that's here. This one.
Alright, right.
Woman FIDE Mastery with black pieces
Yeah.
from Austria, is it?
Erste Bank Baden. Yeah, it's from Austria. She's
Austria.
from Austria, right?
So, and what
Schachclub
about
Erste
her?
Bank Baden.
Olvia has 23, yeah?
Yeah,
23, so it's
23
quite a big rating
Yeah,
difference.
right. And thanks to that, Erste Bank Baden could manage to make a draw against Yurdu Odlar team. Quite strong.
Yeah.
Much stronger team actually. Looking at the composition, of course.
Yeah.
In group number
This
D.
is one of another game from this match, and here, as we can see, Black managed to draw this position with less pawn,
Quite easily.
quite easily too.
Right. It
Yeah.
was a
I
perpetual.
don't know about this Queen F5. It was mandatory. Okay, she pushed too much this F4 and
But I believe
H4 and
still
F4.
it should be still a draw actually.
Yeah.
Even without that motive, it should have ended up in a draw.
So the only player who won in this match from the team Azerbaijan is Mamedova Golnar. She has so funky position.
Right.
Oh my God! You cannot fight against 6 pieces
Yeah.
helping each other. No way.
Even the queen wouldn't
Y-
be able to do it.
It's, I think, even 7 pieces are not even enough for that. You
Yeah.
can like play like go. You know that play?
No. not
It
really?
looks like chess. Like chessboard. They have white and black pieces,
Alright.
and they have little pieces,
Right.
and you have to grab your opponent's pieces in some areas.
Okay, then no, it actually.
So it can be like if black pieces are like
For me, chess is way too complicated.
it's quite. But I've learned that many chess players like to play it because it's a very strategical game. For example, if black has pieces around all of these,
Right.
like a green one, this is for black. Like it's their own
Okay,
pieces.
okay,
They
okay.
killed these pieces. I don't know if I'm explaining this correct.
I understand
Terms.
what you're talking
I'm
about.
sure they're not saying killing there, but grabbing. Yeah, but if there is like 1 square or 2 squares, then it's possible to, and you put here your black pieces, then white can make around you the chain, so you will be trapped there. It's quite complicated, but something that's really, really nice to play and
Alright.
learn. Or maybe I just learned it the wrong way. It's also very possible.
Alright. Do we have anything more to see?
Let's see this game. White was just one move,
From the
Fro-
promotion,
yeah.
right?
but it turned out. But the position was really heavy already here, and black managed to checkmate white's king. We're getting ready. We can already maybe took back our screen from Zoom, and we can take a look what is happening in
Yeah,
the
because
room
as
of
far
the
as
players.
I can see, the round has started. Should start in a moment, maybe.
Yeah, should start in a
Should
moment,
start in
not
a
yet.
moment, not yet, because only the pairings are given.
On the screen we have the player from Croatia. Anna is her name. We saw her game yesterday, I believe. And yeah, they are getting ready. Also, I see Alicia from Poland, Ketevan Arhamia Grant from Georgia, but represent Scotland.
Skyish.
She played against Anna Kubitska first round. I see
Alright.
also Anna Kubitska
Okay. It's
playing from actually you can guess from where.
Mhm. Scottish. I used to study for
How
one.
many languages you used to study or studying?
No, Scottish. I used to study in Scotland, in Glasgow,
Oh,
for half a year actually, and as an Erasmus student.
uh-huh. And how was that
I
experience?
couldn't understand the words they were
That's what I
talking.
was
When
expecting.
I had the speech, little conversation between two elderly women, and one of them said, "It was it, I?" That, what did she say? What did she just? Oh, I was there, wasn't I? Was it in English? You would have to translate it to English to understand it. It was
That's
it,
so
I?
cute. That's so cute.
So it's Glaswegian is one of the worst accent in English, in Scottish as well. They don't say Scottish, they say Scottish. They drop T.
I would like to visit. I maybe find
It's very
myself
nice.
very happy there just to speak.
Yeah, but when then I went for a national league near London, I could understand people actually. You know, when I was traveling by train, I could understand people, and in Scotland, I couldn't. Even though I was there for half a year, right? couldn't
That's the
understand
stories
the
that I
words.
heard every single person. I've been there.
It's unbelievably hard. Of course, at the university they use a proper literature English, so I could understand. I could understand tutors, but still, people at the street. It was no, not my league.
Sorry, not. Okay. Yeah, we also have this dialect in Georgia. In no way that I will be able to understand anything, any word. Like maybe just in sentence, just one word, a half word.
Right, they have started.
And they started perfect.
So number 5 and number 6 kicked off.
Kicked off?
To start. to kick
Oh,
off.
okay. I thought about the teams. I was like,
No.
are they supposed to be kicked off?
Nah. Kicked out, I would say then, of the tournament. All right.
But I don't know, you studied in Scottish.
Sky. All right. I believe we have some games already started. All the games have already started. I believe that all
Yeah,
players are there.
first game we can cover is Valentina Gonina against Mai Narva.
So it's group number D. Mai Narva from Estonia, Estonian player. I believe she's a medalist of youth team championship for several years. I remember that name. I was also commenting it. It was held in Poland as well, in Romanów-Zdrój, but still I believe, because that time I was also the coach of the national team of Poland, FIOF. So that's why I was preparing my students against her actually.
So here we have Catalan position. It started with Catalan, but now it's transposed to the different opening. It looks like New King's Indian. Yes. Oh my God! What is on the background? Some Joker or
Yeah, it's a
clone?
It might be a Joker, or maybe it's from It, the book and the movie called It,
It.
the horror.
Oh my God!
Where, of course, if you have a clown, it's also always a horror. It's not the Joker, it's It, right? You can see on that. I don't know how is it. What's the name of that thing women do to their eyes?
What?
This
Mascara?
drawing.
Eyes? Mascara?
Mascara, right? But behind her, right on the poster.
Yeah.
So what's the name of this drawing on the face?
We don't do that. We do makeup. We don't.
Okay,
draw
it's a
like
sort of a
clowns.
mess cake. So no. The clowns do it as women, no different way. So no.
That's not even helping. So the player is quite young player. I think she's a junior player from Georgia, actually. Ekaterina Pipia. She used to be the participant of many youth championship in Europe and also in world, and She's mysterious girl, I should say. I didn't know that she was this mysterious, but now checking out her room
Yeah,
looks very
exactly.
interesting.
As if you play on the tournament over the board, you don't know the
Yeah.
background of a player, and here you can
I
see.
never expected something like this from her. I remember her very small and very sweet, and now look at her having a clone in her wall. So what do we have next? Old Margaret against Anastasia Batnarek. Here we have King's Indian. White here choose the setup with h3 g4 to play against Black's main idea f5.
Yeah, exactly. Rook goes on g1 also to support to make a pin after f5, gf, gf. So it's just
Mhm.
quite a nice plan.
Yeah, for example here if Black plays f5, then can be something hanging on g file because
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
open.
So quite a tricky move, rook g1.
Next position is this one. Looks quite interesting.
King's gambit,
Mhm.
right? Have played.
Yeah. It started from beginning.
For right. For right, it's quite a nice attempt, I believe.
It's
From
quite
time-
sharp, right?
Yeah, from time to time to do it. Of course,
Not
it's,
always, but time to time.
yes, of course. It cannot be your basic opening.
Yeah, well, let's move to the next group. Maybe we'll find something interesting there. And here we have Tolakidu Stavrola against Grasp Georgia. And here we have a very nice pin on c3. White has to defend this knight with some ways, I don't know, possible queen b3, queen d3. I'm not sure about bishop d2 because we will give this bishop, and I'm not a
I
big fan
believe
of
it's
a
still the
giveaway.
theory.
Also,
It
it
should
can
be-
be
it should
some
still the theory.
castling here and some sacrifice. Because the king is here in the center right now. Bishop b5 can come. And
The
queen.
They are both from Greece. They
Really?
are- yeah, both Greek players.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
So this is Caixa Italia, the one, the representative of which is Tsolakidu.
Oh, hold on. This lady is still talking. Again, maybe she's arbiter. That's why she's talking. Or she's just talking like you said that you used to talk as well. To me.
But not so nasty to myself.
I really want to hear some. I want to have one ear there in that
Yeah.
Zoom call. So strange.
So
There
maybe-
should be always one person in the tournament in Zoom call who complains the most, and
yeah.
I think we have one.
If only we were able to read from the lips.
But we don't know the country, which country she represents. So you don't know which language you should be focused.
The language of angriness.
Yes.
But maybe she's just calculating the variations.
That's actually, some players do this even on regular chess tournament, and that's so annoying. It happened to me once,
Really?
and I was very close to call the arbiter, but I was so losing. I was losing like 3 pawns or something. It was like, you
So-
better resign than to call the arbiter.
Yeah, exactly.
But of course, they cost. I paid for the cost. I blundered 3 pawns because I was very distracted by her, and it's very hard because I was even hearing the lines how I was losing, and she was calculating. I'll play this. I will play this. I will play this. I will grab this pawn.
How old was
and
your
what she
opponent?
wants in Russian, and maybe I'm not fluent in Russian, but I can understand still. It was quite annoying. I lost. I lost the player is quite known. I don't know, maybe not for wide public, but I don't want to
For
say
sure
her
for you.
name.
For
Really?
sure for you. You will remember her till your last days.
Yeah, this before I have my memory.
Yep. Even then, I
Yeah,
believe you.
I wish not to remember that person, but it was really distracted because
Right.
yeah, chess game is very nice, nice communicate way to communicate with your opponents and to respect your opponent. But yeah, some people ruin it. What do you think about this game? Rook f8 was played here. So against Elizabeth Pets, her opponents are maneuvering the rooks very strangely. In the previous game, the opponent did not castle, and she decided to artificial castle and make rook on lift off from h6.
Magdalena Mühlwald against Elizabeth Pitts.
So the question is if black was able to castle, because now it's hard to castle, of course, on the short side, but also to defend this pawn. G7 pawn is hanging, and we can see Lizzie Pets on the screen. She is located in some hotel, I guess. That's
Yeah,
not her.
it looks like a hotel.
She might be for Grand Prix, preparing already for Grand Prix.
Yeah, might be
Very
so.
possible, very possible to spend some Christmas time there and prepare. Because anyway, they need to go earlier because of quarantine.
All right.
That's very possible that she's there. So the pawn was gone from g7. As we said that it was impossible to defend this pawn here.
So what happens here? Actually, I believe white is pawn up.
Hmm?
White is actually pawn up, I believe,
Yeah.
and that's all.
Yeah, then can be some ideas with knight f4, some jumps, knight h5, and f6, or just open the file for rook and rook will take, and then to come on h8. It's
Black
quite
really tries to create some counterplay on the queen side because it's the only way to handle that position, but still I believe it's not enough
Mhm.
for her.
This game, King's Indian, when white pushed the g4 pawn to stop f5, it happened that black anyway pushed f5 and also f4, but white stands quite well. White has very comfortable square on for the knight on c4, which will be in a second traded by the blacks also. Very nice idea of knight blocking the pawn. White has very nice space on the king side and has no really danger here to lose.
Yes, especially that the
game.
pawn on e5 is hanging, I believe. Knight e5, rook e7. It might be quite interesting if white can take on e5, rook here, knight comes back, and now I believe white's king should be worse, so I would like to do it with if I were white. Most probably I shouldn't take the pawn on e5. If only I had a free played, but I don't have.
These pawns are quite interesting here on the center.
Yeah,
I guess was
this is
one.
king's. This the one we already saw.
Nice angle, right? On the
Right.
screen what we have. Although it's impossible to see anything, the chessboard, but you can see that it's chessboard. So players cannot open
Anything else?
anything more top than one. I think that's Polish chess player Antolak Julia.
Julka?
No?
Maybe. Hard to say because
Her hair looks like that.
yeah, but hairstyle is different. That's why I'm not sure. Not from that angle.
Mhm.
It's possible, but still, I'm not sure.
So also the players have different time zones now, and for some of them, there can be already evening.
Yeah,
For example, for Georgians, it can
Yeah,
be very
okay.
close to
But
evening.
actually, teams are from Europe, but players may be from different continents
Yeah,
as
yeah,
well.
we
So
have Padmini from India and Sarah from Iran as well, and Iran from Indonesia. So
American also.
yeah, we have also participants from America. Somehow I'm missing some excitements today. Why? I think I'm missing a link for that, the link of the games.
I know.
I think I missed that. So let's find some names here. Let's find Nana.
I really like the name of the team. She plays to win. English team. She plays to win.
That's really good.
And one of them won a game. Graham. Madam
That's
Graham won a game against Giergi. So as you already mentioned, there are plenty of players who are grandmasters, not only women grandmasters, but grandmasters, and still some players that just playing for fun,
Mhm.
amateurs.
Hold on, is that the game from yesterday or from today? Nana lost against Pandita PV.
Mm.
And
I will
we
check.
saw this B3 first move, bird
Oh,
opponent.
yeah, it was from it's from yesterday.
It's from yesterday, and
I believe it's from yesterday
so unexpected result.
for sure. But I believe
Also, the position is quite okay for black, so it seems like it's
yeah.
okay. Maybe not anymore, because
Now
Rook got
it's
very active.
She wanted too much actually, and the king became
Yeah.
very passive. That's why she lost the game.
Oh, very nice.
Sometimes if you want too much, then you lose. Actually, it's
Yeah, you get nothing. Yeah.
right.
Okay, this is the game that she's playing right now, and this is the
Juhas,
setup
Barbara
that,
Juhas.
that comes from close Sicilian position.
No, it's not from Sicily. It's
Engli-
English opening. Because without c5,
Oh,
with the
it's
pawn on c6,
impossible, yeah.
it's impossible to play Sicilian without c5. But it's
Yeah.
English opening.
I
Sicilian
play
reverse, I would
this.
say.
Yeah. I played this with c5 here, so I have everything same, but the
Yeah,
pawn
exactly.
on c5, which makes sometimes big difference, sometimes not so much. So this is the another game when Nana won. It's from today, and this is another game.
Current
from
game,
to-
right?
Yeah, current game from today. Okay, very good.
So let's take a look on some different.
Yeah, I like to see this game. Looks
What
very
the king on
tempting.
e3 is doing there?
So the king came from f2 definitely,
Right.
and it was queen g3 check, king e3, and here we have this position. I believe black is standing very well. Tia Gucci from Italy represents Italy, and meanwhile we can also see the photos from Monaco, world champion, former world champion, and number one ranked female player. How Yufan was on the screen. Now you can see former world champion Maria Muzachuk, and you can see a lot of pictures from the Monaco, so you can see the history of chess from Monaco right now.
King is just coming back. Escaping from the danger. Is there anybody else in the room? I would say it's not possible to.
This girl is mysterious.
Maybe she's a captain.
Ah, yeah.
I'm not. I don't know really.
What's her name? Her voice is muted. She's not talking to anyone. Her voice is muted, so she's not talking in Zoom. She's a captain.
All right.
She's a captain, probably. Oh, very nice, very nice.
Very nice hat. The
Yeah,
heater.
hat. Christmas spirit.
All right.
So this is the next game. It looks quite simple. Here, knight was hanging on f6. Knight goes back on d7, and can I somehow win this game relatively easily? Something like knight d5 might be played here.
What's the threat?
The threat is 97.
And what if I trade the knights? Then
I wanted to play this move.
f5 always.
f5.
Now, of course, it's not very pleasant for after
Mhm.
knight e5 on knight e4. It's
Oh,
not-
maybe this first
All right.
and this now.
Okay. King to h8.
H8.
And it after knight e7, I will go with the queen to e6.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's not that easy for whites to.
Oh,
First
very
did it-
unpleasant rook d6, right?
Yeah,
It's-
this
it's a
is
good-
very nice. This is very nice.
So knight to d4, knight to d5, I believe will be played. What happens after knight d4? What happens? Knight d4, knight d5, knight f3, gf, queen b7. I'm not sure whether it's dangerous for black or not. Okay, let's put some more move. Bishop h6. There might be a threat of rook d7, and if queen d7, then knight f6. So if black makes some dummy move, then I'm just winning on the spot. The fork here, and if you take, then I take. So it's quite dangerous, might be quite dangerous. So after rook d6, knight to d4, knight to d5, queen, knight to f3, black has to be really in that position, has to be really careful.
Mhm. On the screen you can see Pia Crumling, legendary chess player. Used to be #1 ranked chess player. Some years ago, we can see
Seriously, is a very strong grandmaster.
very, very strong and very active chess player, and she
Mhm.
loves to play chess.
Yes, she
And
enjoys it for sure.
She has the cup of tea. She likes to drink a lot of tea during the game, and so she always brings tea with herself. And usually she has lots of things on the board. She likes to take lip.
Teddy bears.
No, not maybe earlier, but not now. She likes to have some pens, tea bags, and lip balms,
Okay.
and so on and so on. So very interesting personality. And you can see also the candles. Such a Christmas spirit here in most of the players.
Yes, I'm not surprised. Actually, we are just before the Christmas.
I am surprised because we celebrate Christmas in January.
All
That's
right.
why it's a
Yeah,
little bit
two
early
weeks,
for,
2 weeks,
for me.
2
Yeah.
weeks further, right?
This is interesting. This is interesting. Knight f7 was played, and here bishop cannot really take this because of the checkmate. And
There is a threat of queen h6,
Queen is
queen
hanging.
g7, and
Yeah.
white is just winning, right?
Yeah.
Queen
This and this.
h6, queen g7. Nice one. How did
Mhm.
it happen actually? So
g5 was a
g5
mistake.
was a mistake, but still the position of black was really collapsing.
Mhm.
It was very hard. Knight g4 is the threat, knight f7 as well. That's why g5, she took. Queen h5 is the threat, queen g7 as well.
Yeah.
So the only move of Svetlana Berezovska was bishop g6, and now very nice knight f7.
Mhm.
I really like it, Ekaterina Pipia.
Yeah.
Really cool attack.
Mhm. And queen g7 we have. No, we don't have.
No,
we have
no.
this. You will have this queen g7 on.
But
the
with the
board.
knight on f7, right?
Yeah.
Or I believe that black will just resign. She'll not want to be mated. Nobody likes to be mated.
Yeah.
Do you play till the very end if you're opened out the place you, or you just resign
No.
before being mated?
I resigned because I think that it's unpolite to play, although it's just up to everyone's decision.
Yeah, but
But when it's very obvious.
yeah, okay, but
In
when
some
I
of
was
the
playing,
cases, I don't see myself. That it's really so. How can I resign?
yeah, once my friend was, he was very tired and playing a tournament, and he thought he was trying to give a mate with a queen, king and a queen, and it turned out that he missed that the queen is not protected, and he wanted just, give mate, and the opponent said, whoa, 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 no mate, the queen is not protected. And he grabbed it, and it was a draw.
Oh my god!
So sometimes, if you have
Things
to really,
like that happen.
yeah,
Oh
also
god.
to grandmasters.
Oh god. Once I had a very beautiful checkmate. It was very, very beautiful checkmate. Like the combination with rook h1, knight takes h1, and bishop h2
All right.
checkmate. It was
All right,
very
okay.
beautiful, and I was quite happy that my opponent allowed me.
All right.
I don't know if she saw it or not, but yeah, okay. When you sacrifice a rook, probably she saw it,
Yeah.
and it was very good feeling to allow.
Yeah, just like me when playing king against king, knight and the bishop.
Mhm.
I was being mated, so I just allowed my opponent to mate me.
Yeah, yeah.
Because, he just have shown how to
Yeah.
do it, he knew it. But
No,
then
first of all, there is a rule of 50 moves, and he has to be precise with that.
yeah, he was precise, so
Yeah.
I just allowed him because, I didn't want to resign 2 moves before mate, because then I would feel it's not polite
Yeah,
way.
yeah, yeah. I just checked you if you knew it.
And
But of
then,
course, it's I would not play if I have queen lies or something. like
of
queen and
course,
king.
yeah.
But if yeah, sometimes it's good to allow your opponents to be happy.
Hmm.
And that's the next position here. Black sacrificed exchange for 3 pawns, 2 pawns, and the king is quite open. So
Yeah,
I think
black is
it's
just winning.
just worse to
Yeah,
to
knight g4 is a threat.
yeah,
Bishop c7, everything is hanging, so black is just winning.
just winning. A very interesting position here. Bishop g7 was played, rook is hanging and knight is hanging at the same time. Can black save it with rook c8, bishop c8?
How would you pronounce the name of white?
That's my area.
Yeah, I know
It's
it is.
It's Gunay Mamazada.
Mamma Zara, okay, because Mamma Mia would be almost. That's why I was curious. Okay, knight
Looks like
f6 now.
that.
Knight f6.
Knight f6.
Right, bishop is forced to take, and then I'll take with the queen, and I'm just much better after rook g8, for example. I know bishop h6, right?
Mm-hmm.
So pair of bishops and a lot of space for.
And the wonder where the king will be
Yeah.
after 10 moves. Where do you see yourself after 10 years?
So on your cork
something
is
like
in
that.
big troubles, I believe.
But this is an interesting position. Here, both kings are on g file. And
It was a French, most probably, or maybe some Sicilian,
mhm.
Alapin variation, or maybe even the French advanced, right? e5. Looking at the structure of pawns.
Yeah, very, very tempting
Actually, the problem of
position.
white is that the rook doesn't play on a1, right? Does
Mhm.
not play.
And you can see Adela on the screen. Serbian chess player.
Mm-hmm.
Quite talented.
She looks as if she was surprised by something.
Yeah.
Oh, very nice e6.
Oh,
Because if not, that queen
yeah.
should go
you can
to.
see, you can read the
h6.
face of players by the.
But still, I believe that
Reactions.
I can try king f8. King f2 is the only move, and then rook h2. So I'm just winning the queen, right?
What?
Not because now after king f8 you are forced to play rook g3,
Mm-hmm.
and now it's not that easy. But I believe black is doing extremely well.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Although e6 looks very nice.
yeah,
attempt.
it's probably the only move, okay, of Josephine Heinemann.
Yeah, chess player from German.
or Austria.
German.
Okay.
Uh, this position looks quite interesting. Black decided to um, centralize the king on the king side, and looks so far not very dangerous.
But I believe
But
no, not really. The white is really suffering a lot because after knight c4 you're forced. Queen c4, why?
queen c4. Maybe she wants
Okay.
to come queen
It's still
somewhere.
the pawn on a7 is hanging, the bishop on d6 is hanging.
Yeah.
The position of white is much better for sure. But I would rather choose knight go to c4. The queen does not stand very well there. With knight on c4 and then try to open the king side. So I believe Laura Unuk does not stay very well. But of course, still it's playable position. It's not lost yet, but still with quite big problems.
Yeah. The next game is Mihala Sandu and Ivana Hreshchak. And here we have two rooks and bishop versus two rooks and knight. How would you evaluate this position?
All depends on who's on move, and it is
Black.
black to move. I would say that I just take on c4 the pawn with the rook at first, and then I would like to go with the rook to c2 maybe. But now rook d8 maybe. Rook c2. You are not allowed to take on e4 because the first rank is too weak, and now there is a threat of taking on h2 and then going to g2 with checks. So alright, and now
Can I push now this move?
yeah, I believe, but
And next move, let's make some random move. The rook will be protected.
yeah, but still it's
Still
too
what? Yeah,
it's still nothing,
nothing.
and the
so.
pawn will go to d7 supported by the knight.
We have on the screen Mihaela Sandu with her power drink on the side.
Yeah, exactly.
I wanted to have that today, but I couldn't ask to stop a car on the way because I was late already.
But I believe we can try to find it.
So that's the next game. Denise Shiphold, the player from Australia, woman FIDE master.
Austria.
Australia.
Australia is too
and
far.
Australia and yeah, summer and stuff. It's too far
Then
from us.
Tribolt.
So she already showed very nice skills, and now she is playing with extra pawn. This pawn is extra, but the question is if she can convert this.
Yeah, king goes to
advantage.
g7, for example. I will protect the pawn, and then I'll take the one on d6. Or maybe even rook f8. It's possible.
Yeah.
Of course, it's white who plays for a win.
Yeah,
It's obvious,
it's
but
obvious.
I don't think it's possible for her to win if properly played by black. But okay, she's pawn up, and there is a
Oh, there's
weakness
another
on
pawn.
f6. Yeah, okay. But
And after this, I can, just secure my bishop there.
alright, but still, rook to e8 then. Maybe, may I? Maybe because before I can try to play rook. I wanted to be really smart to play king g2, rook b7, but I'm pinned. And of course, you can just
That's
eliminate
nice.
in two moves. But I have,
Yeah,
I have
that's
seen
nice.
that motive.
Nice try.
Yeah, nice try, but it's all. So of course you have to take on d6 and a6. Black should pray for a draw still.
Yeah. In the game which we were analyzing, we have this position: white give the pawn on h2. No, it's not actually white who gave the pawn. Black took an h2 instead of c4.
But I believe something like h5, h4, h3 might be dangerous for.
Yeah.
Right. On the other hand, rook takes e4. It's not that easy. Probably black should play rook h to g2 and now to f2.
Mm.
I thought about going to d2.
So now black is going for f1. It's quite interesting position. Rooks are quite active.
Of course, white's counterplay is connected with pawn d.
In this game, nothing happened much.
Yeah, but now I believe that the knight stand on b5 quite well, was really nicely placed. Because the bishop on d6 is just a big pawn. Because of the pawn chains a7, b6, c5, e5, f6, g5. Oh, very nice one. Knight f5. I really like that move.
So now we have a knight versus bishop, very
Yeah.
bad bishop.
Of course, you couldn't have taken f5 because of queen d3.
But if white is going to close everything, how she will be winning then?
I always can try to play knight e4, take on d6 and play b4, so I can open that position if needed. But still, alright. It's only one way. As a result, may occur only one. I would love to put my king on e4 in that position just to support. Whoa, I would never try to play f3 in that position. I don't think it's the proper way of handling that position. But of course, fg,
Yeah.
hg and rook f1, for example. Right, it was in the game. e4, very nice move. Black just get rid of the bishop, of the pawn to open the bishop. So now bishop can go to e5,
yeah,
of course.
this is very nice.
That's why I didn't like white's let's say chess behavior. Because now I'll just take on c3 and then on d5. So white, oh, a lot of things is happening in that game of Anna Matnadze against Laura Unuk. Queen c4 maybe, knight e4. What's her plan actually? Maybe f6. Maybe f6 now and then knight e4, knight g5. Quite a tense.
Yeah. f6 was played here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well. We can meanwhile move to the other game. I'll just try to find some interesting game. We already in most of the games we have end games, of course.
Mm-hmm.
How about this pawn end game? So interesting.
White should be winning. And
Mhm.
pawn up,
Pawn up
and
and
the
endgame.
king is active.
Mhm.
So only one result
Yeah,
is possible.
even for example here after d4, black
Yeah.
simply cannot find anything. King g5 and g4. Yeah, she decided to keep the king in the next to the pawns. Goryachkina is playing against
Magdalena Miturova.
Yes.
But she's doing her best to win, but still I believe white should handle to make a draw. But of course now the knight would be better because there are, even though the pawns are on different sides, so the
Mhm.
bishop should be better,
Mm-hmm.
but in that position there are weaknesses on white squares, so only black can win.
Yeah, so knight will get very comfortably
Yeah.
knight on
Wha-
c5.
Of course white has to bring the king to play, but still I believe it should be a draw actually. Bishop b5, king e3 and so on. But of course it's only
It's only black who is playing here for
a
for a
win.
win. And here we have this position. Knight versus two pawns looks like a draw.
Yeah, it is a draw. Because now knight supported by the king is able to control the pawn on knight a2 and then king c4, knight c3. King c4 now. There might be a Zugzwang.
Can I do this just to grab the pawn?
No, not really.
It will be lost.
With a pawn, it should be.
Oh, what is happening here? We see Laura Onuk shaving her head. And now
Yeah.
analyzing the game, probably she blundered something, but her game was quite quite heavy.
Knight e3, yeah, very nice. And here, knight f5. Oh, she missed queen h8. But I believe it's almost the mate. But still, even in that position, it's already lost
Mhm.
because there is a threat of queen h8. And but what happens after queen d5? Queen g7 mate. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard to believe there is something that
Yeah,
can save.
Yeah.
It's up to white how well white plays there.
Mhm.
How white can convert the bind. You see, you cannot sit this comfortable way when you are in a regular chess
Yeah,
tournament.
exactly.
Yeah, it was a good time, Laura, to turn off the camera. So,
Starting to be interesting.
this is the next game. What we have?
Black is just winning. The king e2, queen d1 mate. So
Just
mate
mate in
into
one
right.
move.
Exactly.
And we have this game with opposite color bishop and corner, or how you call it, edge pawns.
Yeah, most probably. I'll have to check. Rook pawns, let's call them that
Rook
way
pawn.
now.
Very fun. There's G pawn too, rook and knight pawn then.
Right. White is easily winning, giving mate in just few moves. G6 and then G7.
Hmm.
And
Yeah, in
it's
this
winning.
position, when there's only where there is this G and H pawn, it's possible to draw, but black has here also additional weakness on D6, which is very close. If
Yeah,
it's too far,
yeah,
like
of-
on
of
B6,
course.
it's not.
Yeah, but of course not with that activity of white king.
White king is too active, yeah.
Way too active to make a draw for
Yeah.
black.
And also you should not allow white to push the pawns too much. And we have this position. Karotkina managed to get one pawn.
And she's
So-
winning.
She's playing with extra pawn in
Yeah,
this.
king e4, king e3, and just.
Yeah, she's
smash.
just going it. Just going over it.
So how did she manage to do it? Of course, she's a great grandmaster, very talented player, and very king d2, king c3. Okay, and how did she trick her opponent? 5. Oh, and the pawn on on g2 is
Mhm.
okay. So maybe after h4, I should have played g4. No, only possibility. But then knight goes via g6 or e6 to f4 and also
Mhm.
winning. Okay, it was actually losing position.
Yeah, I bet she knows quite well this kind of endgames.
Yeah.
How to convert. So she doesn't really need to think by herself. She just,
Just
knows it. Yeah, it's not. I don't think that it's something that
Oh,
she. thought
Bishop
on the
c6,
word.
bishop d4, for example, at first. f3 is possible. Everything is winning. Yeah.
Another game which we have still in progress is this one, where black has an extra pawn,
Gulmira Dauletova is trying to win
but the rook is quite active. Also, knight
against
is
Elizaveta
very
Hrebenš.
nicely combined with the rook. And only one rook cannot really win the game, yeah?
Of course. But still now, black will try to activate in the knight, for example. King f6 now. Just there is a threat of knight g5. So king f6 has to be played actually, I believe. And is played.
Can I trick you?
How about taking on e4?
I tricked you. Okay,
Oh.
not this way.
Yeah, you're right. Okay. So I'll have to go to c1 after
Yeah.
king f6, right? But she played rook b6. She played
Mhm.
rook b6,
Check.
king g5, and knight to e3. The knight on f7 is quite passive, but I believe that now I can even try to play king h or knight g2 check, of course.
Yeah. The thing is that
Stupid of me.
The thing is that white wants to push at some point h4 and then rook g6, and the rook is so badly cutted on. Can I play now h4?
Yeah, I
This
believe you
and
can,
this.
and there is still some threats of knight f5 maybe.
Knight f5, sometimes knight h2.
How about knight g5 now? Just to cut the g file for the king. And now knight e3, knight g2. And my return of the king is not enough. But still I believe that now rook a3 is possible.
Is there a Georgian flag on the background?
Focus on the face, come on.
I can't recognize her for sure. That's why I asked. But
So
I'm surprised to see Georgian flag.
So now I believe...
I knew I know everyone. I thought I knew everyone.
So now black is just winning because she managed to overplay her opponent, and after rook h3 for example she'll be 3 pawns up, and it should be more than enough to win that position.
Yeah, 3 pawns cost is a cost of 1 piece, yeah? It's like she has an extra piece now. And
Right.
that's the final game of this round.
I know that once I have played against a strong woman, Davletova, but I don't know, I don't believe it's her name, it was her name. But okay, never mind. I almost lost, really. I was almost killed in that game. I was really lucky to win.
So 3 pawns extra. And quite easy to convert this, it's not a problem, I guess. Black can push any pawns, but safely push any ones.
But I believe that king g5, the activity of the king.
Now e4, e4, e3 can be a move.
Right. Knight
Knight.
d4 is against knight e6, so it's also quite cool.
She's maneuvering quite a lot. h4, push the pawns. So if black even loses 1 pawn, there will be still extra 2 pawns.
Yeah, exactly. Rook f6 now. It's just winning for is the one position for black, of course. But you have to be very careful, even in such position. There are still knights on the board. They are very tricky pieces.
Yeah.
Believe me.
Yeah, it can be a fork and everything can turn around. Rook is come back on f7, and now black will push h3 pawn. After maybe knight f5.
Yeah, at first knight f5, knight e3 check.
Yeah.
Rook g3 is also
so
cool.
many ways.
So many ways, yeah. To reach their own e3, e2, just
E3,
promote
yeah.
the...
Rook g1 and then checkmate in this way.
Yeah, e2,
promote.
king f2, rook f3. Just don't give anything.
Take everything.
Yeah, give them nothing, take everything. Because today we draw in hell.
The queen we have on the board, and we expect any minute the resignation. Here we have resignation. This is the end of today's second round. We have a third round starting after short break. So I think we can also take a short break, and we will come back with more games. Welcome back. This is European Women's Club Cup organized by Monaco Club Monte Carlo and also European Chess Union. I'm Kathy, this is Martin, and we have another round for today and the last round, right?
Yeah, probably. So let's take a look at the games.
Let's quickly move to the games because they have already started to play. And let's take a look at the name of Nana Zagnidze, one of the participants of Monaco Chess Club. We have here very common position of queen's pawn, queen's gambit, is it? But in that case, bishop should be here, right?
Right, on
On
d5.
g5,
tough.
it's so far.
May I look at it? So it's different, right?
Yeah, it's different. Yeah.
Some of the sideline. I believe black should be right. All right, now after BC we'll have the hanging pawns structure. So that might be a good idea of black, of white actually.
On the screen, you can see Georgia's leader of the national team.
So, of course, the other setup is not to put knight on c6, but on d7, and then the queen may go to b6 and to e6 then. But knight c6 is, of course, playable move. Alright, maybe something else. Pia Kramling playing black against Maria Anna Stefanidi.
So here we have h5 move. Very aggressive move, always seeking for some attack, some action. And here we have this move without even castling at any side.
She's waiting actually. Of course, she will, if possible, she will castle short. Because there are some pieces of black. But I believe that even after queen d2, it's one day she will have to castle. She didn't want to allow to play g4, right? So that was her idea.
Yeah.
Behind this h5 move.
We can take a look at the game of Maria Muzichuk and Tatiana Dornbusch. As you know, that Maria is a very tactical player, and she usually calculates very accurately and very long lines. It is always nice to see her games. So we have this position where f5 was played by with black. What? No, f5 wasn't played.
How did that position happen?
Wow, the pawn traveled all the way from f7 to d4.
So this is unlucky in defense with knight f3 and e6. Alright, fe here, e5, and now knight d4. So now she didn't want to capture on e6 and passant because the bishop would develop. Queen e4, g6, bishop d3. I believe black is not doing bad. Because knight on knight on b6 is misplaced, but still I can play queen d7, for example, just to trade the bishop. Sorry. So after knight bishop f5, I can even take back with the pawn just to control the e4 square.
We're not afraid of check on queen h5 because
of queen f7, right?
f7, yeah.
So most probably white will play bishop e4, and black will have to decide where to go with the king. I believe short castle should be the
answer.
the answer to that question, right?
Yeah.
And then maybe bring the knight back to game via c8 to e7 or by e4 to c5. It's up to black, of course. All right. So what was the game? She took on d3, and I believe is a blunder because now she does not have any control over e4 square. Of course, after queen d3, white would like to exchange bishop for a knight and then to have this e4 square for a knight against that bishop.
Exactly. So it means that if black tries to get the knight on c5 or on f6 to trade the knight on e4, in that case, bishop will come either on g5 or on e3 to trade, and Of course, white will be happy to trade the bishop for the knight and to play knight versus dark square bishop, where black has very, very, very small chances to create something very big,
Yep.
big for white.
So this is the game of Kiev Chess Federation, Greco against Circle de Échecs de Monte Carlo.
So this is quite interesting position. The rook is gone from h8 already, but
There are
instead black
minor pieces, right?
grabbed two minor pieces, and black also has this pawn so far protected.
So Andrea Navrotescu is standing extremely well with black in that position, I believe. So it should be okay for black. Especially with that pawn on c2, somehow it managed to go all the way through. Quite nice. I would like to know the history of that pawn from c2. Alright, so from c5. So it was the French, the classical variation of the French. Knight b5, knight f3, bishop f4, and knight d6. Alright, so she sacrificed the rook for an exchange, but after c2 she took away the bishop on d3. Right? Yeah, castle, queen d3, and after bishop d7 black is just winning. Should be winning.
Should be winning, yeah.
Quite convincingly.
We can move to the next game, and this is Iran Karisma Sukandar from Indonesia, playing against Margarita
Shapetkova.
Shapetkova.
Shapetkova. So what do we have here? I believe it was from the Sicilian defense, and white is better because of the better pawn structure.
Also
pawn
well
on
placed
Yeah,
bishops. In the
Yeah,
center.
and queen on g3 may try to fight against the king.
Yeah,
So queen g3 now, and then attack the king.
exactly. Good news for black. It's black to move, and maybe they can
Yeah,
find
of
some.
course. Because if
some-
not, then
some
queen
moves.
e7 is also hanging.
Yeah, that's also another big good news for them. Next game, what we have in this category? This is category
Black
B.
is winning actually already because of the pins.
Yeah,
Knight e5 and after rook e5, queen e5. So Natalia Buksa.
that's what we have on the board.
Yeah, okay, she maybe bishop f4, then knight f3 still.
Yeah,
Nice one.
very nice. So it means that rook e2 was played wrongly.
Yeah, for sure.
Actually, it was like knight e5 was a mistake. After taking here,
I could have taken with the queen, it would be the only way.
d4 is hanging.
Alright,
That's
still, but I
why.
would
And if
rather.
knight takes, then e5 is hanging.
Yeah,
So he
I
took
would.
it,
Yeah, she took it with the rook, and
and she
it
thought everything is protected for a moment.
turns
But
out.
yeah, this is
Of course, the difference between them is more than 600 elo points. So it was obvious who is the underdog and who will try to win.
600 points
Yeah.
difference. Wow.
Yeah, Natalia Buksa is an international master from Ukraine, 2400,
Yeah, yeah.
and her opponent from Monte Carlo is 1700.
Mhm.
So
And that's the game of Petmini against Cosma. Can I play now knight c7 and grab the bishop?
wait! Don't force me to go with the rook. I will take on b3 at first.
Okay.
And if knight takes right after AB, the
It's
bishop on
hanging,
d2
yeah.
is hanging,
Okay, this.
and now bishop c4 at
bishop
first.
c4. This is hanging, and this is hanging.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that makes sense. So it's sort of drop here. No, not to play
that
knight
easy,
c7.
right, but bishop c3, but then bishop c4 is coming. So now it's not that easy for white, I believe.
Mm-hmm. And the next game is this one. Black played bishop c5, check the
Check.
king. If king goes away,
Yeah, especially black is just queen d6 even. Black is pawn up.
I'm thinking about move like knight g5, and when the bishop takes, to take it. It's
But
opposite color of bishop.
Alright, but at first I will take on f8, just to not to allow your bishop to be so active. Instead
yeah,
of
that's
taking,
fine.
then you will have to take back with the bishop. Then I
Uh-huh.
take with the bishop here. Of course, black is still
My point here is that anyway, I wanted to bring this bishop on d6
and attack the king,
and
right?
to play on the dark squares. I don't know if it's worth to play, but if I were black, I would go. This is the safest way
Yeah,
to.
yeah, for sure.
So. This can be really interesting game between Dana and Sarah.
Mm-hmm.
So both knights are focused for e4 square, but for the moment they cannot really access.
White on move. Now, so maybe rook e7. Try to get to the black's camp, and after rook e8, rook a to e1. Of course, I can also try to go to e5 instead of rook a to e1. Play rook e5, but of course, the problem is that the pawn on d4 is not very well placed. Okay.
Yeah, it
So-
doesn't have a pawn to support.
Yeah, exactly. So if we have the endgame, it might be a weakness. Now I have more space, more spatial advantage, right?
Mhm.
But if we exchange some pieces by, for example, rook knight d7 now, I believe black can do. Black stays quite well.
Mhm. The next game, Alina Kashlinskaya and Laura Rojo. Here we have pawn already on e6. And the king still not castled.
But still, I believe it's queen e7, for example, in castle, and black should be fine because there are no knights in the position already. So g4, bishop g6, f4, f5. I believe I have enough time to do it.
I wish to have e4 move, but
Nice one, nice one. It would be nice, but
it
it
would be
doesn't
nice,
work
yeah.
because of the DE, maybe FE, F5, but still I don't think that even as a casting, black would be okay. So I believe it's not good for white.
Adrik Yelena against Alexandra Kostyuk. Yelena plays quite fast. She knows
Yes.
what she's doing.
But I believe after e4 black is standing extremely well because then I'll play b6. Maybe even not knight. Why?
I said
pawn.
pawn b6.
Just play b6. Bishop f1, and the pawn on g5 is hanging. So actually, white is standing much worse. Jelena Andrich stands worse against Alexandra Kostyuk.
And that's the game against between Miria Rabidze and Shabana Evgentina Eglantina.
Eglantina.
Beautiful name. Rook h3 was played. Actually, the bishop is untouchable because of the pin from
Right,
3
but now
times.
it's hard because the rook on e6 is hanging.
Yeah, and
That's
the
the
rook is
point.
dropped. Yeah, in
Yeah,
this
it does not
position.
have any free square. So bishop e5 was played,
Interesting.
right? So
Yeah, I'll take it.
yeah, I will have because I was considering to take immediately
On e6.
on e6, but then bishop
Bishop
d4.
d4 intermediate move.
So now
Take.
if you take
I
knight,
cannot take with a knight.
you cannot.
That's the problem, I think.
That's
Yeah.
the problem. Right. So after rook e5, what happens then?
I think it was just a blunder to take on e5, yeah? Because now you're losing a rook and also bishop.
Yeah, most probably you should have taken with the pawn on e5, just to sacrifice the exchange, but nothing more.
Yeah, not more. Not too extreme. Another king g6. Today we see already second time this king on g6. This is Lela Javahishvili against
Rozana Gierki.
Kerki.
Um, I would prefer black. I would prefer that position to play that position with black.
More active pieces, more
Yeah,
space.
the king on g3
Yeah.
is in danger because, for example, h4 and then just attack the king. So maybe knight e5. The king, there might be some mating net. After knight e5, then you cannot even take on e5 because the bishop will take back, and so
Yeah.
it's risky
Looks
for
nice.
white.
So let's take a next game in this category, and then we can move to the next category. Yeah, we can move to the next category. It's a little bit slow because there's like 15 minutes plus 5 seconds for each players, and they are playing not that crazy sacrifices, blunders, and everything.
Just like
yeah.
in Blades.
Yeah, we saw so much things yesterday.
Yeah,
at
exactly. The
online
Armageddon and so
championships.
on.
Yeah, we want to see some blood too, but in the evening we're gonna see. How about this position? Torsa Darashani is also from Iran, who is living in USA nowadays and studying there. And she's she became quite famous after the fact when she denied to wear hijab at the chess tournament, and the photos were taken, and it was huge thing.
Scandal, actually.
Yeah, it's a scandal. Yeah, of course.
Why didn't white play queen f3? That's my question. If you take with on c5, I'll just hide the king and I attack both bishop and the rook.
Oh, I did not see that rook there.
Yeah, so that's why you cannot do it with black. And if not, then after queen f3 you'll have to take on f1, and I will take on c6, dc, and just king f1.
No, beautiful.
And you can castle shot, and I have pair of bishops against the rook, and I'm winning.
It's just so hard to play against two in this position with these
Right,
two
bishop
bishops.
e6 is also winning. And maybe bishop f1 is even easier. Because then, yeah, bishop f1, and after queen e3 I have rook c3. So it's also winning, right?
Yeah, Darsa is quite strong international master already. And at her early ages, she achieved this title. So I'm sure.
Yeah, if she's still a student, she must be young. If she's younger than me, she's young. Let's put it that way.
That's why. Yeah. Yolanda playing against Wojciech Karman. And we have an endgame here in this position where white has an extra pawn on g3.
And that's why it should be winning for her.
That's why it should be winning. Yeah, also there's some issue with this pawn. It's still blocked on the bishop's color, but that's not very, maybe that's not very relevant in this case. The other thing, which is very important, is that the king has an access to arrive at the
Weaknesses on the king's side.
different weakness. And look how many islands, like just one more than
4,
white.
Right.
Alicia Ślewiska against Thesis Pokra-Regina. Here we have equal position. Only heavy pieces are on the board, and somehow I have feeling that white was trying to win or had advantage, and now the game ended in this way.
But okay, still white is better, because I can try to I'm more active then. So for example, I can try to play king g2, then a4 maybe, the pawn on d5 is hanging, I can just take on f6, rook e5. It's still my play, right? But of course, after queen e5, rook e5, rook c7, if black manages to activate...
she should not go for defense, but for counterplay. But
Yeah,
I don't know about this g5, what is this? Can I take now on f6?
Okay, king takes. It was not used, it's actually
Not necessary.
not necessary, but of course, as I told you, here for example, rook c7, and now rook c2, just to cut the king on the first line.
Mhm.
So it's cut and attack pawns, for example.
L5,
It
A4.
should a4, yeah, but still, it should be even after b4. It should be enough to make a draw. ba,
Yeah.
ba, and maybe something like that, and even that position is drawish.
Yeah.
Yeah, rook will
Get
come
back
back
on the. Yeah.
on a2, and the king cannot help.
So Anna Kubitska against Jonela Jonika. Oh my God, so nice name. Jonika
Julia
Julia
Ionela,
Jonela.
so Romanian player.
Nice.
And white is a little bit better, I believe, because the pawn on b4 is maybe hanging.
Mm-hmm.
So now if I'm white, of course I cannot play knight d3 because of knight e2, very unpleasant surprise.
Mm-hmm. And I don't know how to
Mhm.
defense this.
I don't think it's possible even.
Yeah.
That's why I have to control e2 square.
Do you really like your white?
No,
'Cause
now
not
not.
anymore, yeah.
If I look deeper in that position, I would say it's not. Of course, I can play still queen c4, for example. And now I would just try to trade, to exchange the knights, maybe. It was the Sicilian for sure, right? But how did it come to that position? So the Moscow variation, bishop b5, c4. So the Maroczy style position with the absence of light scored bishops and b3. I don't like that move because now pawns are limited by the pawn from b4 and bishop d4. Yeah, after knight d3 there comes bishop c3, and maybe that was the way to play, and now I will not play a4. Try to trick my opponent, right?
Mm-hmm.
And here after bishop d4, I believe it's not a problem for black. What was played? Oh, she's still thinking.
She's thinking.
Yeah, it's
4 minutes against 6 minutes. It's
Mm.
not too much time, but
but
she
still
wants to think.
this increment of 5
Yeah.
seconds is more than enough.
Okay, we can jump to the next group. This is Group C.
Alright.
Yeah, and clearly the groups are not combined by the rating of the teams, but it's a sort of snake structure.
Mm-hmm.
It's quite tricky, but it's. I think it's quite fair.
Quite fair, right? Okay, let's take a look at some games from C group.
I didn't move. I didn't
Yep.
move. Okay, I thought I moved. So this
Olga
is
Giria.
against Kazal Hakamifart. Position is equal, although the pawn is already hanging.
White
and
is
you
much
can
better.
really defend.
Yeah,
Oh, what
rook
is
d4
it?
now.
Can I not? No, I can check. Yeah, rook d4.
For
Take.
example,
Take.
there is a
Now
threat.
it's a threat.
Yep. A6, knight e5.
I don't know which pawn. Yeah, this pawn.
The only way. But
And
now, for example,
check first.
yeah, rook a8,
Rook a8.
rook c2 maybe. No, rook c7 is the only move actually. But now I can even try to play a6, rook b8, or b4 just to advance the pawns.
Yeah, this is all about the technique, which I believe Olga Giria has without any question. So the next is Maria Heinas against Baya Kovanova. We have 2 rooks on the board, and
And
poor king here on h3 stuck
Yeah.
there.
he's stuck, and black is actually has already winning position. 2
The thing
pawns
is
up.
that white can never take the Maruk here because of the checkmate.
Yeah, exactly. So I have rook c5 to play rook c5, for example.
Rook c5.
And
Okay,
now
nice.
I can even try to play f4 if I want.
F4.
But there are plenty ways of winning that position with black for sure. It's the Ugra team from Russia against Gonchen from Switzerland, I believe, because all players are Swiss.
Mm-hmm. They don't have name of some chocolate?
Okay. Malina, very nice name.
Malina.
It's
Yeah,
a raspberry in Polish.
yeah. Same in Georgian. I love it.
It's a pity it's winter now, so you cannot eat it.
Mm.
Alright, black is just Tiziagara should be winning
Mm-hmm.
because the only move is king d1, rook g2, and it should be over in a moment.
The next
She already
game
won, right?
is Dina Belenkaya against Jovanka Hoska.
Yeah. From England.
So Jovanka has winning position and
For
extra
sure.
exchange and the pawn. That's quite enough to win. Yeah, rook can come on second rank now, and king can stop the pawn, and
Yeah, I
that's
believe
pretty
it's
much
the
it.
match of Wood Green England against Schachclub Bad Königshofen.
Oh, would you
From
take on
Germany.
d2 and play this?
No,
game?
I wouldn't take. I
Why
would
not?
just rather play rook g2, right? If I don't have to give away any material, why should I? e6, then king e7, and if bishop c3, then king e6. Bishop f4, then rook g6, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, to take this.
For example, rook g4, everything was winning
Yeah.
actually.
It's probably what will gonna happen, but black decided to put the rook on f5 instead of g2, and that's the
Okay, but
position.
g5, rook d6 is still winning. Everything is winning in that position, to be honest.
Mm-hmm. The next is Tama Katarzyna.
Katarzyna Toma, originally from Poland, no place for England.
Mm-hmm.
What happens here? Whoa. King is safe on b1 now, but after bishop c1, actually white has problems, because the knight is trapped, and if you take on c1, rook g1, queen f7.
What?
The
Rook
knight
f7.
the knight is hanging on f7, attacked by queen and the rook. So black is doing very well, I believe. If we exchange the queens,
Mm-hmm.
so queen d4, rook f7, king c1, is it enough for white? Because of course black will try to push the pawns, and white only chance is pawn on c6.
But why to trade the queens and not keep it on the board and to play something like queen takes
Right, queen
Rook
f7,
has
rook
to
c-
take?
yep.
and to play this position, because the king is so open here. At least I will have perpetual check at any moment.
A very nice decision to be made actually.
Mhm. In the game of Dina
Jovanka.
and Jovanka, we already have a result, and black managed to convert the advantage.
Right.
And that's another game. Also, two rooks. It's so many two. We have so many in games with double rooks. No, 4 rooks on the board. It's not double rook.
Lazan de Vaida Sidonia against Anna.
Yeah, I think
Mind.
it's very hard here to defend with black.
Yeah, it's totally lost position to be honest.
Yeah, white will manage to get this pawn. Also, then we'll start to march the pawns.
Alright, I will play h4. What would be your next move? Of white.
I know what you want. You want to get your rooks on
Yeah,
first rank, but I want
yeah.
time to take.
I see such a motive.
Beautiful.
Only source for black, only chance. So the stalemate because I cannot move my king or my
Oh, hold
pawn.
on. I have to remember this game. I told you that I have this this class master class,
Yes.
and I will show this. I'll show this. I
Yeah,
like it.
try to play h4, right? So
I need to save
whoa.
the I need to save the
Wait.
names.
Ah,
Don't change it.
all right.
Okay, I saved the names.
All right, because she knew what something was throwing on rook h6. That's so she didn't. Now king has a move, right? To g7, for example. So now she's just winning.
Oh my God! Thank you, Martin. This is so nice. I love it.
That was my last trick, last result. I believe that even rook g4, rook f6, everything is winning actually.
Mm.
Of course, there are some technical issues in that position.
I think rook f3 and rook f4. That's the way how white should.
I could have taken immediately.
Chacha Georgian vodka. It's photos from Monte Carlo Club. Probably Nana. Nana brought some chacha there. She's a member of team.
Ah, give it away. So
What are you doing? You cannot play from f6 to g4. You managed it.
managed to do it. I wanted to play here, so just
Again.
to exchange the rooks and now just win that
Mm.
elementary position. Because now, you know, the king is chasing, so
Hmm.
it's annoying.
It's really annoying. Rook g4 should come now.
Yeah, it's winning.
And then, yeah.
Of course,
Rook
it's winning.
g4,
for
rook
white.
f5, and take on h4, and then get back on f5 again.
But then I will take on f2, so we
no,
will
no, no.
have
Rook g4
yeah,
or the
king
king.
h5.
Rook f5.
Uh,
King h6, take with a check. Rook f3 and rook g4. But this rook f...
rook f3, you say. King g5 here. Okay, I wait.
Rook g4.
King
Rook
here,
f5.
here,
Take.
here. I attack the rook and I take the pawn.
Rook f4.
Oh, this one, right? You're right.
Hmm.
I miss it. So now, of course, white managed to take so 3 pawns, 2 pawns, 8, and g would be enough. So here we have the same position.
Same
obtained.
position, yeah.
Somehow
Exactly.
we managed to do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a very interesting position on this game. What's happening here? Black is already on the second.
This is from
Fine.
Matilda. Do you know that movie?
Yeah, it's my favorite.
This is from Matilda.
Oh, that's the photos from last year travel in Monaco.
Right?
Yeah, that's our guys, Polish team.
Hmm.
Yeah. So we had one very nice dinner in the casino
Casino.
of Monaco, and or Monte Carlo.
Monte Carlo.
Monte Carlo probably.
Uh,
So
what happens after
the
queen?
organizer of the tournament, Jean-Michel, organized very nice dinner in the casino for the participants and for the people who were
Yeah.
working there. So it was really magical.
Look what could have happened. Instead of taking on d3 and such a position,
Mhm.
may I defend with white? I cannot.
Yeah.
Right,
So-
because I thought I could have played queen e2.
Mhm.
So after rook f2 there is check here,
Mhm.
and I don't see any other. And after here, something like that may come.
Very nice.
But still, I'm not sure, of course. And I hide my king, and still there is something like that.
This I didn't really expect to happen.
So what else do we have? Not many games. King f8. Right, what happens in that game? Olga Giria is trying to win that position, but it's not that easy. She tries to trick her opponent because I believe it should be. It should be now with such an activity, it should be already winning. Rook e7, rook b8, right? Here, here. King e3, right? King
This
g6
happened.
then.
How to win?
F4, king f6, but still, I should. Rook maybe e4 or a7. And should be winning for king f7 later, so okay, rook e5, I'll just collect the pawn. What can I tell you? Some arrows appeared and I'm not. I don't feel guilty about it. Okay, so how about knight f6 now?
Very interesting end game just appeared in this game. So we have bishop and rook pawn.
Yeah. And it should be a draw actually.
Should be a draw, but I don't know.
'Cause-
You should not push too much. Like you shouldn't allow to push too much. Or yes.
No, it's okay because the king should stand on h7. At first at f7, then on h7, as I believe.
Mhm.
So we can obtain with like the Tarrasch position in the rook endgames. Rook e1, and then go to a1. Of course, it's very still even without that pawn, it's quite tricky
Yeah.
because even Carlsen lost once to Aronian, I believe, a few years ago. Such a position, so it's not that easy. Rook b7, then rook b7, then king h6 on the board. So does it matter for a result of no, not really.
So if white goes to f7, f6,
Right.
I can grab the pawn, and I can play this move. And the
Mhm.
idea is that, for example, if rook gets here to check and the queen, you
I-
can have 10,000,
Three ways of
three ways. First to take, then to play check here, or to check here.
on e1, right?
So maybe I wanted to show if rook comes back here,
Yeah, then rook e1 is
and
enough.
after this too.
Yeah, the only way. But still, what
this
happened in the
case-
game actually? It's quite interesting because now after king h6,
Can you recognize that person? No, it's gone. It's gone.
Oh.
It's gone. wrong time. It's drawn. The king is on short side. Rook will get in long side.
now king f7. I play king f7 now, and I'm winning. Rook g2. Because if not, then rook h8
Rook
and
is
king
so
g7.
badly here.
Yeah, misplaced here. So that's why in that position after f6, but there is a f7,
But
right.
oh, she played rook e8. Oi.
rook b8, right? And now I believe
King to
no, it was probably already lost. Rook to e8 now, rook e2, and then king e7 is winning. Somehow I believe it was a drawish. Rook e7 is not necessary. Come on, go rook e2, and then there is a threat of mate. Rook e5, okay, here, and just go king e7. Next two moves. I would like to have this rook here just to be away. And in that position, I believe that Olga Giriau should manage to win after rook g5 because the king is too far. What does he do here? Knight f4, of course.
How did the king get there
It's
from
a,
h7?
it's a
Just
good question. It went for a walk.
Walk. Fresh air.
7, right. And of course now it's already out.
Yeah. King
Okay.
h8. Is the wrong square to have the king here? Because you don't have escape. You don't have
Yep.
like to play anyway. Yeah. Next will be f7, and then king e7. That's the plan for white to win.
There are more games in the D. Do
Let's
we
take
have
a
it?
look. We have it.
I don't know.
Okay, let me update it. You said D.
All right, no, it's. I have to refresh, and it should be enough, right?
Yeah, one last game. This is a game. What we have. So knight and the pawn is extra.
Yeah, it should be more than enough.
More than enough. Just white should be careful not to stalemate the opponent. So this is the last game of the today's round.
No, I believe
No, we have
so.
more.
Yeah, one more round actually.
So strange.
Hmm.
I'm confused.
Yeah,
So
because
yesterday we had one more round in the group E and D, and today we have one more round in group A, B, C.
in all groups actually.
All groups.
I believe.
Not much in. Let me check that.
Right, right. Check it. Double check. It's not. Check me. It's not a problem for me.
Check.
So now.
Checkmate is not a problem. Checkmate is a
Yeah,
problem.
checkmate,
Right? Checkmate is a problem.
All right.
It's
so-
lost. Yeah, the game is finished.
Mhm.
So let's see. Somehow I missed some players today. Like Anna Muzichik.
Yep. So what are the? So it was the last game of the round.
Mm-hmm.
Because the problem is that there is different number of rounds in different groups.
Mm.
That is confusing. That's why it's not so easy to control everything. So, and a lot of games to be shown, to be analyzed.
Yeah, okay, let me check. According to the regulations what I have now,
Yep.
it's 4, 6, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So this one was 6.
Yep, I believe
We have 7 to go. That's okay. That makes
7
sense.
or 8, right?
Alright, yeah. In
It
some
depends on the
groups
group. Actually, so
okay, I think we can take very short break and we'll
Exactly.
come back with together with the chess players. Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
We're back. This is European Online Women's Club Cup. I'm Katie, this is Martin, and we are having today the final round. So before the finals.
Yep.
So the games has already started, and we can quickly go to the games unless you want to say something.
Not about the weather, but actually about the regulations. Two teams qualify further. So from each group, A, B, C, D, E, we have from each group two teams. So together, 10 teams will qualify further, and on Monday and Tuesday we'll play a round robin of 9 rounds.
Yeah, that's quite interesting structure.
Approach, right?
Yeah, I think I have not seen something like this before.
Me either.
So it means that maybe you are in the group of strong, they are relatively strong players, and even if you are a strong team, you might not qualify.
Yeah,
to
exactly.
The next.
So
That's why you have to win most of the matches to do it.
From the A group, for sure, France Temple will qualify. They had drew only one match and all the others they won, and most probably Cercle de Échec de Monte Carlo. And from Group B, Kiev Chess Federation Greco and Poland Hussars. Most probably, of course, it's not mandatory, but they lead in the group. From group number C, Ugra team will for sure play tomorrow, and Hello Suck as well, or Shuck.
Hello what?
Shuck. Or
Hello Shuck.
Shuck. Right?
Hello chess probably.
Hello chess, right. And then from the next group, from group number D and E, I don't know whether we on the chess results we miss one result, but I believe that Gambit Volgograd should play tomorrow, and most probably Yurdu Odlar Artibilis International Chess Academy. And with group E, we have also only the results of 6 matches, and Clichy Échec and Schachklub Schwäbisch Hall should play on Monday, most probably, right?
Yeah, we're gonna have a very, very big, huge, spectacular closing ceremony of 2 European Chess Union events. That's 23rd December at 6 p.m. We'll have a stream, and the players will be how to say? I don't know how it's possible. Like they will be named.
Right.
Who will win the cups and who will win the tournament. So it will be the combination of 2 tournaments, the winners of 2 tournaments.
So let's take a look at the games. So here we have Pia Kramling playing against Ece Osbay. So I believe it's sort of the Greenfeld defense. The structure looks like.
Yeah.
And then with this F5 pawn. But I'm not sure, of course.
The pawn should be
Should be on C5, you're right.
changed at least.
Okay, but let's focus on chess, not on the names of the
The
openings.
bishop is hanging now
Yeah,
for
so bishop
pleasantly.
C8 must retreat. And what happens
What do you
here?
think about this move? So the idea is very clear. I want to give a check.
King H8,
I want to grab the pawn.
E5.
And
I can even try to play F4, take the pawn on D4 just to sacrifice an exchange.
Oh, that's interesting. I would take that. But after taking here, queen or
No, bishop.
bishop. I thought that you wanted to sacrifice more time. Okay.
Or even instead of taking with the bishop F4 and maybe F3. So very, very complex position for sure. EF, bishop F5 was played. So now I believe, all right, bishop D3. The whole thing, the idea behind it, I believe, is that after bishop C8, There might come knight h7, for example, something like that. Bishop g6, king g8, and queen e4. Knight, queen.
Oh, sorry.
Knight e4 was also quite tempting.
Yeah, to jump knight on g5.
Or c5 or g4, yeah.
Maybe this was.
Maybe it was even better, you know.
Yeah.
Subconsciously, you know, made a great move. But still, here bishop f5 comes to play.
Yeah.
So maybe it's not that dangerous. We can see Pia crumbling on our screens.
We see the legendary chess player on the screen. We can move to the next game, and this is the game Honor against Pats. I think God has very good chances to set up some fire on the board, but before that, the knight is hanging.
Still,
I still
h5
go there.
is to be calculated, but after hg I can play f5, I believe. Staying back with the king, king f8. Watch out, there is a mate on b2.
Oh, no.
That was my whole idea.
I have to play this, but yeah,
Alright,
let's show it.
I would be faster.
Yeah, it will be faster. So the next game is Monika Sachko and Eden Kune. Black is not afraid to castle alongside, even this file is open. And on the other hand, wants to open maybe the king side
exactly.
by
The
herself.
bishop on e3 is not very good and active minor piece of white, so that's why it's still playable position for black, of course. The structure looks like it was the French defensa, or maybe Caro-Kann. But I believe black is doing quite well, even though white has a special advantage. So also quite a complex position.
Let's move to the next group.
Right,
And
so which
next
one
group
now?
can be group B.
Alright, group B. Cool, I will try to find them.
And let me check some excitements.
Alright.
So this is a game, Klon Claudia against Anna Zurova. So as you mentioned, Polish team has some chances to qualify for the finals.
Yeah, I believe big chances they can't lose that match and they should play tomorrow. And I believe that white is doing extremely well. Pawn up, the attack on the king, so everything that Claudia loves. Just to have an ability to attack, have a possibility, not
Yeah.
ability. She has ability
She
to
has
attack,
ability, yeah.
but just possibilities are enough for her. Now h5 is a threat, and then the knight
Checkmate.
does not have any good square to run away, and the king may be mated on g8.
How to do it? How to do it? I want to sacrifice, but it's not possible. Okay.
Right, queen e6 is still enough. Knight e4, knight d6. Actually, I can even try to play knight e4 immediately. The queen
yeah.
is untouchable.
This is beautiful.
All right. So what else do we have? Group number C, right?
Yeah.
All right. So what do we have here?
This is a game between Mita and Akshaya. Pair of bishop for white, but black pieces are standing so well in the center. I think that's pretty much equal position.
It's actually that one is the theoretical position from the Maroczy system with bishop e5. It's of course white has the pair of bishops. The other way is because it's here e6 and because after queen with rook a to c1, because regularly you can also play here, rook c1. All right, so something else. Take f3 here. You don't need to take on c6. You should check, wait for it actually to play that way. Here f3, and now you can try after a5 to play b3, knight d7, come on a bishop here, rook a b to 1, a to b1, queen b6, rook f to c1, queen b6, and rook c2. So now we wanna play here, and there is a threat of a3, and there are plenty of games like that. So knight c6 is not the best choice actually, because now black was able to play a4, a5, a4 immediately, I believe, in that position. Just not to allow to play b3. And then I want to play knight d7, knight c5. It was the better way for black. And after knight d7, b3 here. Yep. I believe I would prefer to take white, because I have the small spatial advantage. But of course it's totally playable position.
Yeah. The next what we can take a look is this game. Looks very tempting. I can't really avoid to look at this.
Right.
So it's a check, and probably it's very dangerous to take the pawn.
I will have
Maybe
it. Yeah, rook d to f1, king g6,
and queen.
d1, but I believe it shouldn't be enough. But on the other hand, how to defend? Because queen g4 is also a threat.
Maybe with rook h8.
Queen g4. Oh, if only the king could go there. Bishop, no, at first take on h8, queen has to take, and now bishop f6.
Yeah.
I don't know whether it's enough after queen f6 to win with white, but for sure it should be enough to make a draw. Because of the knight, queen f6, take, you have only one queen against 3 pieces, rook, bishop and knight, so it would be too much.
How about a move like this, simple move?
No, now for sure the king should be mated somehow. Bishop g7 then. Queen g5.
Yeah, I feel it.
Somehow, three pieces, 2 of them are heavy, are attacking. It should be too much, yeah? Rook f7.
Yeah, let's checkmate.
Yeah, for sure I should win that position.
So black didn't take, and black went back on f7.
All right,
That's
it is a
quite
good
smart.
idea, quite smart idea in such a position. And now she's rook up, knight up. So the position is just winning for white, I believe. There is no counterplay. Now I want to play queen h8, for example, just exchange some rooks, maybe with rook g8, and white does not have enough power
Yeah.
to fight.
For the piece, yeah. The next, which looks also very nice, the rook on f6. Oh, this is beautiful. So check. Black took.
Yep, rook to f6, and some problems with the pawn on d6. So what is the reason? What is the material? Now I can also grab.
The g6 was also hanging. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
okay,
now
g7.
f7 is hanging. So actually, and d6 and f7.
Yeah.
I believe this is collapsing for black. 2, 4, 6, 2, 4, 5. It's only for one pawn. Way too much. Way too much.
Yeah, the next game is this one with the pair of bishop for both sides. But the king of black is still in the center.
Yeah, exactly.
And
That's
it's 2 moves away.
yeah.
To actually maybe more, even more, because the bishop is hanging as well.
Yep. That's why white is much better, of
And
course.
in case of bishop d6 move, and it's white to move. So
Way
It's
too much,
much.
actually.
Yeah, it's too
Even
much.
I can take on b7 and play queen b3 just to develop my pieces. And now even
queen
queen f3. Yep.
This idea. After bishop d6,
G3
g3,
still
this idea.
bishop f4. Yep. Right.
Should
Right.
be
You're
winning
right.
for white. This position looks quite calm with this pawn structure.
Mm-hmm.
But twice, but black has not really huge problem here.
Because the problem is that I don't have any weakness. And
Hmm.
what about bishop h5 immediately?
Oh, is that a blunder? F6?
f6, queen g4. And if you play rook h8, then I'll take on g6 and h5. And after f5, alright, I will come back.
Wait, can I push this one?
Yes, you can. That is the problem. Maybe rook f3 now. I will sacrifice something, but still I believe
Nice, but maybe on king other side.
king h6, then rook
Or
f3 as well.
what did you say about this?
Take on g6 and h5.
Uh-huh. Okay.
A little bit off.
This one maybe. Again,
Rook f3.
Yeah.
And if gh, queen h5, king g7, I can still take on f6.
yeah, because of this very unpleasant pin.
So
Fork.
I believe she should calculate such a position.
She didn't take?
She didn't take because maybe she was afraid of this f6, bishop h5, and then king h6. I believe. You know, sitting at home analyzing is much
Yeah.
easier, and you know, you are just calm or okay. It's not your material. You just
Yeah.
sacrifice. Okay, it doesn't matter. It doesn't work.
let's
okay,
let's move to
get
the
back. Yeah,
next
and
game.
during the game it doesn't work that way. Okay, rook d7 will have to be played by Anastasia Bodnaruk. Oh, not really. b6. Okay, she wants to. I don't know. Alright, nice. She was afraid of knight e4. Okay, my mistake. Because then the fork on f6 would come. So now I believe white will play king f2. Just bring the king, and now knight e4. So a minor piece for the knight c3 or d6 immediately.
Yeah, these pieces are.
Okay.
I'm not touching anything. I'm
Right,
just-
rook a7.
What? Ah, here.
Counter attack. Counterplay.
I see. That's not pleasant.
Just like my whole life, people say it to me.
How about that?
I'll take. King e8.
Jet?
No, e8. No, g7. I will not protect the pawn that is, useless.
The
My-
thing, yeah, I think it was like
Yeah, I
there
know,
was
I
a
see it.
Go and G2 trick, but
The only
not
way,
easy.
b5. Just run away.
Yeah, the pawn is just on top. I cannot really help. I need a pawn here. Like,
King d6, then b4, and just run forest.
yeah, impossible. Knight is very big. If it's a bishop, then might have some chances.
Yeah,
with
no,
four
it would be
pawns.
totally winning for white.
Yeah. Right. What do we have next? Again, king in the center.
Olivia Patalieva against Diana Lomaya.
The pawn is extra here.
Yeah, most probably from Catalan.
Yeah, white sacrificed the pawn and never got it back.
But still the king is still
that's
in
how
the
it
center, right?
happens
But
to me
of
all
course,
the time.
g6, king g7 is possible, so
Yeah.
it's not that easy.
Yeah, so this is it's a middle game, and both players have only 2 minutes each. And the next game here we have this one, a lot of pieces. Even though it's an end game, we have so many pieces. Black has an extra.
Mainarva against Anna Matnadze.
Extra pawn.
Mm. Yep. The knight on c5 is really a monster.
Mhm.
It supports the position and also attacks the pawn on
Yeah.
b3, which will be a good resource for white. But what happens after rook d6? My whole idea is that you cannot capture the pawn on b3 because of rook d7, and after rook e7 I would trade exchange the rooks and then take on e3. And if not, then I'll take on g7. So connected with some contemporary, right?
Mhm.
So what happens? I'm really still curious. What happens after?
She played knight g5 first.
Which I don't like actually.
Why? What would white black would respond
What
here?
should do? It's the second good question, but still I believe. King f6, knight h7.
Now you can take with the check.
Yeah.
Also knight h7 is a
Mhm.
move, so I'm not sure about king f6.
King f8 was played and rook took on d6. Okay, how about taking on b3 now?
Okay. So tension here. I kind of think that there will be some tactical blows.
Get to the chopper. It's gonna blow. One of my favorite actors.
Yeah.
You know it, of course. Come on. Get to the chopper. Arnold himself.
We share the favorite characters in cartoons. So
Yep.
so this is the game we have now. Why this pawn is still alive?
Yeah, but
How white managed that?
king d4, rook a5, knight c4. The activity, right? King e3.
Wait, it was our
Actually,
our
it wa-
imagination probably what was that 94 and d6. Yeah, I thought it was a game actually.
Okay. But now knight c4, rook takes a4, e6. It's not that easy, right? Because there is a threat of b5. And the pawns may be
Instead of e5, just,
right.
here,
Mm-hmm.
rook should go back. No.
Then king b4. Yeah, that one would be. It's actually in the game, I believe.
Very nice.
Yes.
What is her rating? Do we have some information?
I'll try to find.
This is Group D.
Okay. Now, if you tell me the group. All right. So it's Dnipro Gambit Volgograd against Dnipro. So Anastasia's Bodnarok rating is 2400, and her opponent Cyrulnik Maritza is 2139.
Mm-hmm.
So much lower, but
Yeah.
still.
She found it. She found the way. How to make it more complicated. Then, if I get this pawn with white, then will
What
be
happens after
another
king
thing.
c7?
King c7.
King c6.
Rook back. Or take on no.
No, it's not possible. I thought about rook c4 and then take on d7, but too many pawns on the king side. So right, e6 you say. Oh, king d5 doesn't work because of e7, and now at the
Knight is
b5.
also hanging. Knight b6 is also hanging.
And now at the b5 you wanna play knight e5, knight e5 and knight f7.
Yeah.
Yep.
enough. To
Should be winning for white. That shouldn't change the result because it's 2-0 for Gambit Volgograd from Russia.
It's what?
2-0 in the match
Uh-huh,
already.
uh-huh.
They are leading with 2 points. But still very nice. Game
Yeah.
of Ukrainian player. On d7, 95, knight f7.
Yeah. Hard,
It's
hard
hopeless,
play.
hopeless position.
Very, very nice played. D5. Open up the position.
Lilia Karidze against Kunai Mamadadza. So it's also 2-0 for the team from Azerbaijan against the Georgian team,
Mhm.
Tbilisi International Chess Academy. So
I think they're
already
young players from Georgia, only one team. So
mhm.
because other players were in different.
yes
clubs.
teams, and still Black managed to win quite easily
Oh,
because if I take AB and there is already White has already resigned.
yeah. I think it's huge difference between the ratings.
Mm-hmm.
I know that Mama Zadagone has quite high rating.
24,
higher
40.
than me, and Lila has relatively
Yeah,
low, but she plays
216.
way much better than.
They're her
she-
rating for
yeah,
sure.
yeah.
Okay. Which group would you like to show?
Okay, let's see the game of that's group B, and we can take a look
Mhm.
at this group, and I'll find some
A,
interesting.
E, B, B, B. I have B.
You have B. Okay, I'll
Right.
get B. Not a problem, as we have very interesting positions in all the groups. I'll get in here.
Hmm.
Do we have some results already here? Or not? In some
In
matches,
some
yeah.
matches that we have already 4-0 for Poland.
Wow,
Hussars.
they won.
Yep.
Oh, great.
So they're qualified for sure. But whoa, what happened? She missed the rook in one move, right? She blundered a rook in one move. Bishop d4 here, and now rook a1. Of course, it was winning for black
Yeah,
because there is a she was rook up, but of course I didn't have
but
to
I don't
lose.
want another rook, so take it. And she
Mhm.
took it.
Okay. Gazelle won against Anita.
This looks quite interesting. So here, like, all the heavy pieces are on the board, and black has an extra pawn. It's
Mhm.
Catalan position. I told you, you can never get back this pawn.
I was smashed few times with black in Catalan, so I don't like that pawn, to have that pawn.
Don't give it. And we have the weekend game. White stays active, so this rook d5 secures any access of the king on the queen side to
right?
support the pawn. I think it can be draw.
Thanks to White's activity,
Hmm.
it should be a draw.
Another weekend game here we have, and in this position,
Margaret Olde against Adela Velikic.
black has an extra pawn on c6.
Mhm. Oh, I don't like this G5
I don't like either.
because then I can play, for
push, you
example.
should push at h5 to
Yeah.
make a weakness.
Yes, exactly on h6 because after G5 black may try to play h5, and always the pawn on f4 is h4 is weak. So I don't like it.
Oh wow, black took the pawn. Why? No, it's better to keep the weakness, yeah.
Of course, more pawns,
But
more
now white
possibilities.
doesn't have any weakness. It's
Yes,
so hard
exactly.
for black to approach this one, and
I believe it should be already a draw, to be honest,
very likely.
because of the activity of the white rook, and of course, black do his best. But if we exchange all the pieces, all the pawns, there is no enough to win.
Yeah, black has seconds as white, so maybe that's the reason why they are now just trading the pieces. Maybe. Okay, I don't know how black managed here to trade the pieces, the pawns in the
But
center.
still, it's
but
still the
it's
draw.
still draw. It looks equal.
Black is it's already draw agreed.
Mm-hmm.
Minerva.
That's the position with the knight on c5.
Right, and how did she manage to destroy it? Because I thought black is doing extremely well. Okay, but nothing special happens still. Oh, she missed something. And
Oi.
now it's, yep. Now it's totally different story.
No, 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 no.
Rook f3, alright. Rook f1 is all, because you cannot protect the rook on e7, so it's just winning, right?
Yeah.
So I believe we don't have, oh, we have rook and knight against the rook endgame. How do you think? Will white be able to make a draw in that
Do
position?
you know which position is that? Which was extremely winning for white. Or not, hold on.
Yeah,
It was extremely winning at some point. Yeah.
this position is totally won for white.
The one you were saying that
Why
deep
did
pawn.
you play a4? Don't do it at home. It's a weakness. Black wants to go with the pawn on a file. Don't allow him to do it. Still, don't put. She shouldn't have left the king out. Okay, and here of course black is totally lost. Knight h4 is winning in one move. I could have taken already the.
But how she lost the knight? Oh,
King
blunder.
c8, of course, you know. I believe it's a matter of time.
No, no, she had won almost 2 minutes
Maybe too
against
little.
1 minute.
Move number 72.
Mm-hmm.
So 122 for 50 moves, right?
We're gonna have it. We're gonna have it on the board, I'm sure. Black is going there slowly.
Yeah, but still, it's a draw, of course, theoretical. But of course, when playing a blitz, for example, once I lost the game with when I was defending that with the rook. So
I would be afraid to play this because
I believe.
Sometimes the rook is dropping on the way.
Yeah, actually, I believe that even Judith Polgar once managed to win against Kasparov, rook and the knight against the rook. So it's not that easy, you know. Now, of course, it should be a draw, of course, still, but
That could be really funny to see the face of Kasparov to lose in this end game.
yeah, such players don't like to lose. Believe me, even if they make a draw, they are really annoyed with their opponent.
Mm.
But actually, when I was playing against Judith Polgar in the European Rapid Championship,
Mhm.
she won that game with black. When I was playing against her, and she just missed some things, and there was a draw. All right, so that's the only motive that you can win with rook and the knight. She was not really angry about it, even though she was her position was winning. She was not really angry or aggressive towards me. And for example, different, very well-known and very good grandmaster, also from Hungary, he was, he didn't even want to place the pieces on the basic squares, right? So
Yeah, that's really annoying.
that was really offending for me, actually. I thought, why? Come on, you made a draw, and it was not that he overplayed and missed one thing, but he couldn't win.
Mm.
And he was really, annoyed with that and went out.
Yeah, yeah. Also, dislike it happened once in Georgian Championship. One lady, not very strong, but yes, still, she just dropped the pieces and ran away. I'm like,
Okay, I understand a lot. You are in nerves and so on,
God.
but you have to have some respect after the game and
Yeah.
before the game, after the game to your opponent.
especially you're not that strong. Yeah, you're weaker than
It actually does matter. You
no rated than your opponent. You
Okay,
should
but
respect more.
Oh, I believe you should respect your opponent as a human being. So
No, I understood if Gary Kasparov runs away like that and he goes crazy, but not that woman.
all right, okay. It's also a good point.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's very good to have some manners in chess, and the online chess saves that.
Yes,
From
yes,
the
yes. You don't have to be very
unpleasant situation.
You can even talk to yourself. It's not a problem.
Yeah, the round is end. It was the end of today's games. We will gonna have tomorrow more games, and we're gonna have finals.
Exactly. So tomorrow we have together we have 9 more round robin tournament because
Oh, that's gonna be really crazy
Yep.
and long.
it will take, but it will be divided into 2 days. So it's not a problem. Actually, 5 and 4 rounds, I believe. Tomorrow and on Tuesday
Mhm.
it will be finished. So still many games to be analyzed by us. So I believe
Where we will get stronger together.
Yep.
So goodbye and see you, some of you, in the evening at 8 p.m. Make sure that you will follow the finals of European Online Blitz Championship. We're
it
gonna
is
have
worth
a
to do it. Really, believe me.
winner. It is really crazy tournament. And for tomorrow at 2:30, we'll see each other again here. So goodbye.
Thank you. Bye.